like we're on the internet. Hold on. Hold on. Wait for it. Okay, I think we're on the internet.
Alakazam.
Good. Yeah,
Wow. What was that zooming noise? Was that us getting on the internet?
that was it. Yeah, that's the sound of the internet firing up.
Oh, you heard
Not a
that,
cable
eh?
modem anymore. It's 5G. That's 5G.
That was a
I
motorcycle outside my place.
Most of the kids these days do not know what it used to sound like to get on the internet.
Oh, the dial-ups.
Cling, cling.
Good old
Or
days.
when you'd call a modem, like every now and then you'd call the wrong number and somebody had their modem, or you'd call the number and someone had their modem plugged in.
Yeah.
And they would pick
Yeah.
up and yell at you.
Yeah.
Modem
Like if
used
you
to yell
dial
at
the
you.
number for a fax machine,
Yes.
it
Yeah.
yells at you for calling the wrong number.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They get angry. They get
That's an
angry.
angry robot right there.
So,
To be fair,
So-
I don't like when people call me with the wrong number either.
So true.
You sound the
Yeah.
same way.
damn kids. So, Mike, you saw the Barbie movie, I hear?
I did. It was
And?
it was wonderful. It was great.
No spoilers because I want to see it, but I probably won't see it until it's out on VHS.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was deep.
On
It was heavy.
VHS.
Home video.
You have a while to wait.
Yeah.
Did it stick
Yeah.
to the lore? Did it get the lore of Barbie correct?
It
Or
did.
they... Okay.
It established
okay.
the lore of Barbie. Honestly.
Yeah.
Barbie lore. I don't even know Barbie lore.
I don't know what it is, but it exists. It has to
You'll
exist.
know after you watch the movie. Tell you that. I'll tell you that right now.
That's it. Yeah. Very informative. It was like it was really good. Deep,
It was-
heavy.
It was shockingly good. Like, it had lots of good stuff for kids,
Mhm.
lots of good stuff for adults, and a really like a deep, politically intelligent message. It was,
Yeah.
you know, they talked about the fundamentals of life in a really interesting way. Like, it was great.
That's
Yeah.
what I've heard.
Yeah,
Ryan Gosling's song is now charting in Europe.
yeah. It's a
Um,
great song. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I would change, I don't think I like Will Ferrell in it.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
Will Ferrell's in it?
I thought whenever he was on was just very much like,
Yeah.
let's get back to Barbie, please.
Yeah.
Just didn't like that entire part. I was just like, okay, well, everything else is good.
I'm not a Will Ferrell
Everything
fan.
after he leaves the boardroom for me. You know?
Yeah.
Everything
yeah.
up until that point, like, he was okay, right?
Yeah, he didn't have to be there. He didn't have to do the whole thing.
Sorry, Will Ferrell.
I love Will Ferrell.
We
Like,
know
I'm a
you're
huge Will
watching.
Ferrell fan.
He's good, but not in the Barbie movie. Come on now.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. I also saw Asteroid City, and that's
What's that?
the Wes Anderson movie, new Wes Anderson movie. It's something else, man. It's
I was
just
talking to my brother
beautiful.
about this. Like, I think I've been watching Wes Anderson movies wrong because I thought they were supposed to be funny. And I go in watching them and I'm like, these aren't fucking funny at all. What's happening?
No, some parts are. There's little bits
There's-
in
yeah,
there that
I
are
was
There's
gonna
some
say-
funny.
humor.
They're
Yeah.
not comedies, but I also wouldn't say that they're serious. So
Exactly.
I think the best way to describe it just is a Wes Anderson movie. Like that is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's its own thing.
Yeah,
Well, I haven't figured out how to appreciate. My brother's like, no, they're so good. I'm like,
they're so good.
I watch them. I watched the Grand Budapest Hotel, and I'm like, this is gonna be so cool. And then I'm like, it's not
That's
cool
pretty
at all.
good.
Like,
I feel like he's kind of polarizing. Like you either really like his movies or
Mhm.
you just don't really care for them. I'm in the camp that I don't really care for them. Like I've watched them and they're okay, but
Mhm.
they're just not like my thing. I don't think.
that's
Yeah.
why I think I'm watching them wrong. You know, because people get so psyched about it. I'm watching. I'm like, what is it? What is the appeal of this?
It's
You know,
style.
like there's something here that I'm missing.
It's
Yeah,
style.
it's fun to look at. Like that's
Yeah.
the way and I'm not a huge fan either. I haven't even seen all of his movies or anything, but I think that they're fun to look at more than they are like
Yeah.
about the plot or anything. It's more about like the characters and the aesthetic, and That's all there is to it.
Yeah, really rich characters. Like they develop how he develops characters. How it's like every shot is like thought out. Everything in there is this composition that works, and it's amazing when you're looking at one that like everything falls into place almost unnaturally, and then the camera will turn and look at something else, and it's doing it again. And it's like no matter where he turns the camera, everything's like placed perfectly. I love it. I love his stuff.
I'll watch it, Mike. I'll watch it, and maybe we'll do a watch party. You can help me. You can help me
Yeah.
understand why it's good.
I think what helped me just like appreciate what goes into it is watching like a YouTube video of someone going through one of his films
Oh, yeah.
and pointing out like all of the details and like this is what went into this, and this is like, you know, what's so special about this scene. And so I was just like, oh, okay, like I can see now what people appreciate about them.
Mhm.
So I don't know. There's a lot of like artistry that goes into it for sure.
Yeah, so actually, it just made me think that we should probably warn people about what it is we're doing. Hey, folks, in the 10 minutes before our show starts, we sit around and bullshit about just what everything, and I want to
This
talk
is
about the Barbie movie
D&D.
because it was great. So later, in a few minutes, you're going to hear us introduce ourselves, talk about D&D. We're going to talk about why the person that's usually right here is missing. And how that's going to affect the story, and then we're going to play some D&D. So stay tuned for another 3-ish minutes. 3-ish minutes. All right.
Yeah.
While we talk about Wes Anderson. Yeah, so I'll
Strikingly,
watch it.
that's basically how you play D&D. You get together, you bull a little bit.
Yeah, it's the core. It's the core of the thing. Bullshit for a bit, and then go kill some monsters,
There you
or
go.
get killed by him if you're watching the wrong show.
Hopefully not this time.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I forgot to look up, and I can't tell you what I forgot to look up. But I forgot to look up something that's critical. So shit. All right. Well, I'm just gonna have to make this up. Sad. I was looking for a sound effect, and I was gonna look it up, and then I forgot.
Oh, you just have to make it.
I know.
Yeah,
know
I was
I
going to
do.
say sound effects can be, that can be generated
No.
on the fly. I
Yeah.
believe in you.
But I needed to know what the I need to know what the sound was, or what the thing sounds like.
Well,
So very
I
sad.
see.
Very sad.
What noise does a penguin make?
What does the fox say?
So confusing. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a real
Oh.
penguin noise or not, but I'm convinced.
We have been
Trust
having
me.
bats like crazy around here, which is great because they eat all of the terrible bugs. But I was hearing, like, at the beginning of the summer, I was hearing this noise, like really loud noise. And I was like, what is that noise? It's like a chirping sound. And it was so loud. And for some reason, I've never really known what a bat sounded like. I thought they were like like really tiny squeaks, but these are stinking loud, and they're swarming everywhere around our apartment, which is great. But like you can hear them screaming like all night, and it's nuts. But I like them here because they've been eating the mosquitoes, and we like that. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan of bats. I don't like Batman, but I'm a big fan of bats. So
Bats are great.
fuck you, Batman, if you're watching.
well,
And
there
Will
goes
Ferrell's-
one of our
yeah.
followers.
And Wolf having a watch party and they just turned it off. It's a shame.
Jeez. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah.
Well, that's like 10 different people have played Batman, so it's a lot. It's a lot of our viewers.
There goes our sponsorship. Ah,
DC was just about to give us that sweet coin.
that was what I was leading into with the bats thing.
Yeah.
Should have discussed this.
Well, too late. Y'all ready to go?
I'm
So
ready.
ready.
Yeah.
All right, let's begin Heroes Die show. So let's start out with talking about who we are and what you're watching. My name is Jason. I am your game master. So it's my job to kind of run the world and set up the environment in which our people are going to play through. We're going to talk about what exactly is happening in this episode a little bit later. And I'm going to let our cast introduce ourselves and talk about some things. But because our Discord introduction person is gone, I'm going to talk about that real quick. So we've got something. It's called Discord. It's a place you can go chat with your friends, do cool hangouts. It's like social media, but fewer advertisers. And it's a great way to talk to us about the show, talk to other people that watch the show. You'll get a link in the chat. There are things down below if you're on YouTube or Twitch, the little buttons. Press them, join our Discord, come hang out with us. Tell us what you like about the show. Tell us what you don't like about the show, creatively and nicely, or whatever. It's up to you. And hope to see you there. We're joined by our incredible cast, as we are every week. We're going to start on my left with the person playing Kit. Person playing Kit. Could you introduce yourself?
I am Kit, but I also go by Paula sometimes. And if you are still on social media, check out our social media. We've got Instagram, we've got a Twitter, we have a what's it called? Threads, the new thing, Threads, and TikTok as well. And every little place we're at on the internet is the handle is @HeroesDieShow. So it's very easy to find us on all the platforms @HeroesDieShow. And go check us out. The Twitter is run by Josh. It's great. That's where our schedule goes, all of the announcements and important things. If you're looking for funny videos of us doing ridiculous things, go check out our TikTok. And we'd love to have you support us that way on our social media. It really helps.
Absolutely. And we actually just got on Blue Sky today. I'm not even quite sure what it is, but we're there. Perfect, Jason. We're at Heroes Die Show there, but I'm not here to tell you about that. You're tired of hearing the social media. You want to know how you can bring something awesome to your table. And guess what? You thought you were getting an actual play, but we have cool stuff that we make too. And you can find that on our Patreon. And that's going to be at patreon.com/Heroes Die Show, I believe. And yes, Heroes Die Show. We have a lot of cool ideas, stuff we want to do at our table. Unfortunately, we are limited by money. So if you want to help support that way, it's never required, but always appreciated. Go onto our Patreon, and we don't expect something for nothing. So we every month come out with something cool, neat that you can use at your table. We have games, we have modules, we have our newest one I'm super excited for. We've already gotten some great feedback, is our DM sheet. So it's a template for how to make scenes richer, deeper, more cinematic, more real, all that cool stuff. Super easy to fill out. Great prep tool for DMs. So if you're interested in that, go to patreon.com/heroesdieshow and join us there.
Yeah, and if you're interested in supporting us in another way and you want a little bit of gear to flex with your friends, you can get something like Jason's holding, or you can get, bam, a Heroes Die mug. We also have sweatshirts and caps. We have other things too, and more to come. And that's all on Big Cartel. So go check it out and help us out. It would help us out a lot. And thanks in advance.
I guess I better unmute myself. Okay, that's awesome. Thanks everybody for that. So I want to say a couple things before we get too far. I want to say some thank yous. So first off, thank you to those of you that actually are taking the time to watch. We really like doing this. It's a lot of fun, but it's good to have someone other than my mom watch every week. So it's great having you here. Makes it really fun to share this experience with you. Join in the chat, talk to us. Let's interact a little bit. And thanks for taking the time to watch. I want to thank everybody that takes time to play every week. You guys are amazing, you folks, and you're what make this the awesome show that it is. You know, I want to thank all the great D&D 5e creator community, right? We love using stuff from MCDM. I steal from, you know, the Alexandrian or Sly Flourish and Lazy DM stuff. I borrow all sorts of stuff from the community, and it really makes our show and our games and hopefully your games better. When I want to say thank you to the folks at Tabletop Audio. We're going to play music. Everyone but Paula is going to hear it because she needs to fix her computer. Everyone but Paul is going to hear it, and it's going to be awesome. And we get that for free in our games, Tabletop Audio. You can get it for free from tabletopaudio.com. Enjoy that. And with that, we're gonna send you away for a video, and we'll be back. Let's get ready to show.
Ah, old friend, you're here again. So glad you could stop by. Come, sit a while and let's begin. The tale of heroes die. In distant lands are stories made with villains most despised. A tale of magic, strength, and blade, of camaraderie and lies. It's one I know quite well, you see. Perhaps you'll find out why. The legends and the histories remember. Heroes die.
All right, we're back, and people can actually hear you now. You're welcome. Yeah, folks, so let's talk a little bit about what happened last time. So last week, if you weren't here, episode 17, so 17, there was some shit that went down. Let's just be honest about it. The Heroes Die crew, well, I don't think y'all have a name. We don't have like a party name. Anyway, our
We're not that
intrepid
close.
adventurers, our heroes, they were in the town of Icehaven on the continent of Wildmount. They're there and they're hanging out at an inn. They had a kind of a tense dinner because one of our characters, one that's missing, Essie, she was feeling some kind of way because she's gotten a letter from her dad basically saying that their family was in a little bit of trouble because it was known, or there were rumors that she was associating with some enemies of the Empire, some drow elves, the bad guys. Those two down there. You actually that way, down there. Enemy agents from the Kryn dynasty. And anyway, so that rumor going around was causing her some problems, but she was powering through it, although feeling a little bit tense. I think her and Seleus had decided that they didn't trust their awesome companion, Calamity, the halfling sorcerer that's been with them, because players are naturally suspicious of awesome things. And Seleus had a mission to go find and kill the person that he mentored, the person he raised like a son, in the Valhalla Monastery, Declan. And so they went to this safe house deep in the woods, so a few miles out of town. They went deep into the woods to surveil this house. But it turns out basically every one of them can turn invisible. So they just did that. They just did that and went right in, and chaos ensued. Seleus saw Declan writing a note that seemed to confess that he had betrayed the Lens, the intelligence agency that he worked for, an arm of the Kryn dynasty. And when he confronted him, Declan yelled for help, and Seleus cast the darkness spell and threw him out a window. Threw him out a window and dragged him off into the woods. In the midst of that, there was some chaotic action. A giant wall of ice sprung up from the ground, but they destroyed it. Somebody, we're not going to name names, cast that. There was a big fiery explosion by a woodpile. Could have been anyone. And anyway, things were said. People were shot and blown up. And now everybody scattered ran out into the woods. So far, none of the guards who were guarding Declan, the Cerberus Assembly guards, none of them have been killed, right? And I think Essie's a little bit afraid that she's committing treason, and so is trying to keep it. She's trying to stick it to light treason by not killing anybody.
Treason
Yeah.
light.
Treason. Anybody who gets that reference gets inspiration. Just going to put that out there.
Arrested Development.
Thank you. Take inspiration, Zagrin or Josh. However, we also remembered. That. No, I forgot it. I forgot what we remembered. Doesn't matter. Running off into the woods at night, into the darkness, being chased by these folks, and let's find out what happens next. That sound right, everybody?
Sure
Dec-
do.
Declan's been stunning struck.
Oh yeah, Declan's been stunned repeatedly. So we were playing this. We were in initiative order, but we're actually going to drop out. We're still going to do turns, but we're just going to kind of go one by one by one. What are you doing, right? What are you doing? So we're going to join you a little bit after, a little bit of time gap from when we last left to now. So you've been dragging Declan away, Sileus, and you continue to stun Declan, and right now you're carrying his unconscious form deeper into the woods. You can hear, you're not far enough that you don't hear any pursuit. And even though you have that devil sight, right? That ability to see through your magical darkness, it's still really dark in here, right? Like you're still deep in the woods and you're running through as quickly as you can. Zagrin, you're keeping an eye on Sileus, but with all the movement and with all the running, you're having trouble seeing where exactly he is. So we're gonna need to make some effort to locate him. And then Kit, you've taken off and you left Calamity behind a little bit. Essie's gone her own way out into the woods. And now I'm gonna ask each of you, what are we up to? What are we doing? Right? There is pursuit coming from this house, or at least a lot of noise and movement. And again, there was a little bit of that fire left over from the fire explosion by the woodpile. Kit, if you're going to wait for Calamity or not, right? It's going to be very relevant. You're not waiting for her.
No, Kit went ahead and went into the tree line. I'm pretty sure she's still invisible at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And she was going to get into the tree line, but then she was going to try to climb up a tree to see if she could just. She was kind of running away, but then she was like, okay, wait, I need to hold up and see if I can see if everyone made it out. Okay, basically, because there was no plan really for how they were supposed to meet back up, and it was kind of chaotic back at the house. And so she wants to just see if she can she knows she probably can't see most of the people because, like you said, a lot of people are invisible, but she just wants to make sure, like, has anyone been captured? Is anyone still like in combat with anyone back at the house? And she's climbing up a tree to see if she can get a better view.
All right, now you're in a fairly old growth forest, right? So there's a lot of trees. So once you get into that tree line, it is really hard to see back through. So unless you get back to that tree line, you're not going to be able to get up there and see them. Now you can go back to that tree line. That's where you left Calamity, right? So it's a good place to pick her up and get a view of what's going, right? But as far as climbing a tree and seeing him, like, that's not going to work for you, or it's unlikely to work for you. You'd have to be lucky and find a particularly high tree and get a nice clear view into that clearing, which is difficult, especially considering it is night and there is a relatively full moon. So it's as bright as it can be, but that's still not that bright.
Okay. I guess she would just go back to the tree line, but as long, like, are there people pursuing right now? Like, are they running into the tree line? Good question,
right? Like, what are they doing? So when you fled the tree line, there was no one actively pursuing you. But as you move back, you see Calamity. In fact, as you're running, you see Calamity beginning to run past you, not seeing you at all, like just running into the woods as fast as her little legs can carry her.
Okay. Um, I will, if she's running pretty close to me, I'll try to grab onto her arm
Okay.
and just say, Calamity, do you know if anyone got out? Where is everyone?
She stops, scared for a minute. She goes to grab her dagger, but then stops herself. She goes, I didn't see them. I didn't see them grab anybody. But I don't know. You told me to run, so I'm running. I don't know where anyone is.
Okay. I don't.
I can hear them. They're not far.
Should we stick together?
Please, hold my hand. I can't see anything. It's so dark.
All right. I'm invisible, so I'm sticking with her is gonna make me more visible. But
She'll be moving with her hand up.
right. Okay. I'll take her hand. Is she light enough for me to for her to grab onto my back? I'm not very strong, but
You could piggyback her, yes.
okay. I'll just she's just like holding onto an invisible me.
You're gonna piggyback her?
Yeah, I'll just like help her up onto my back. And
Okay. She's I'll send Yantha back to look, see if anyone got caught.
all right, that's good. I want to get away, but I don't want to leave anyone behind.
Yantha goes, you can hear her flying out into the dark. That quick flutter of wings, and then she's gone.
Okay, then I'll just take off. Is there any... Did I have any indication of where... I saw the big ice thing, right? I'll take off in that general direction unless there were bad people going that way.
You want to try and head in the direction that Selaeus was going before, when you last lost track of him.
Correct, but only if there's not bad people over there.
Right, but you won't know because of the trees. Yeah. Right, okay. So you can't know, but you can head off in that direction quietly as you can. So you'll have a choice to go quietly or quickly. In the interim, I'm going to switch away from you, but before I go, make a roll and keep this number. I'd like you to roll me a stealth check with disadvantage, or not a stealth check, excuse me, a survival check with disadvantage to try and figure out where you're going in the woods. And with that, let's hop over to Zagrin. Zagrin, you're chasing after Selaeus, that blob of darkness in the deep dark woods, or you were. Right? You don't have an exact fix on his position, but you're pretty sure you're still going the right way. And you run into a thick patch of brambles directly in your pathway. You can skirt off to the side. There's a little ravine that looks like it's fairly clear, or you can try and push through the bramble patch. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna take it safe and go around in consideration that either way, if I were to catch Selaeus, there's nothing I can immediately do to help. So I want to try to keep a track of him, but also I'm really just trying to keep myself safe as a top priority. So I'll take the safer route and go through the ravine rather than through the brambles.
Okay. Can you roll me a survival check, please?
Yes. Do you want the number, or should I hold on to it?
Yes, please.
11.
11. Excellent. So you begin going down through the brambles, but you're stepping on sticks. Like there's a couple loud crack as you're moving down and going over dried sticks. The ravine is fairly clear of vegetation, and pretty soon it gets rocky. You get to the other side, and you think you're back on course, but you don't know when you look around. Roll me a perception check.
11.
Ooh, yeah. So you can hear the faint sounds of people yelling back the way you were moving, but you don't have a lot else. You don't have a lot else in the terms of sound.
I'll keep heading in the direction my best guess tells me that Selaeus was headed, and moving as quietly as I can. Again, priority being not being discovered more than gaining ground.
Okay, you're going to try and sneak quietly through the woods while invisible.
Yes.
And in the dark. Okay, great. Selaeus, what are you up to?
I'm gonna run just a little bit, find a nice little nook or any place that's like, I know we're in the complete darkness in the woods, but if there's like an overhanging tree or something, an overhang, just a place to lay Declan down, just to put him down. I want to administer a health potion. I want to give him a health potion.
Okay, so he's
And-
unconscious now. So you've knocked him out. So if you give him a health potion, he's going to become conscious. And Pursuit is, that Pursuit is coming your way. You can see some torches in the distance behind you, right? You don't know where they are exactly, but you know that yours is the direction they're going. If you stop, there's a good chance people are going to overtake you.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Well, I assumed like if he's stunned with a stunning strike, that he's conscious. He just can't move.
So you knocked him
Like, I
out
could
after
talk
that. So
to him.
he got out. He got up again, and you gave him on
Another
the side of the
stunning
head,
strike.
and
Back.
and now you're carrying a unconscious Declan.
So he's unconscious. He's not going to wake up after my turn. Okay.
He
well,
won't.
I'm
He
just
won't
gonna
wake up
keep on-
unless you wake him up.
Okay, no, I'm gonna keep on going then. I thought he was he can still hear me and he was gonna wake up at the end of my turn. Okay, no, let's keep going. I am going to yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going my full movement, which would be half of 45.
Yeah, now this is starting to wear you down, right? Like, so continuing to sprint, like the woods are deep and thick, but you can keep sprinting for a bit, right? Like you are a well-trained monk. You've got him in the fireman's carry, so you're holding him as much as you can. The brambles are getting thick. Roll me a survival check to just kind of get on course.
Survival plus 4. 14.
14. Okay. As you're running, you can see a thick patch of bush, and you go to clear it, but then you get a sense that the ground is sloping down a little bit too much. And as you were going to leap over this thing, you realize that there's actually a fairly steep drop, and you turn and go another direction. So you avoid a pretty serious drop down,
Okay.
and you're moving through the woods. At this point,
so
you don't have a
I'm
sense
in
of
quiet.
where Essie, Kit, Zagrin, or Calamity are.
No, I here's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming we're all going to meet up tomorrow at the Rusty Cup. That's where I'm thinking. Like, our plan went to crap because we didn't really have one after the fact, and that everyone's going to make it out. It'll be fine. And I'm just assuming that. I mean, priority is Declan right now. Again, it's what my priorities. It's what Soleil's priorities would be.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll rejoin you in a minute. We'll see if you can find your way back to the path you took towards Icehaven. Kit, how'd we do on our survival roll?
Very bad. I rolled a 5.
Okay. Oh no. You keep moving out in the darkness for a while, right? So you're trying to head in the general direction, but you realize pretty quickly that you are lost, like hard lost. Yantha does come back. And Calamity goes, she didn't see them taking anyone. They were lighting torches and heading out into the woods.
They're looking for us. We better get away as quickly as possible. Do you know which way we came from? I think I'm turned around.
She goes, I think it's that way. And that is totally at a 50 degree or a 45 degree tangent from where you were pointing. I think it's that way. I'm not really great at finding my way through stuff.
Do you think Yantha could help us a bit?
She can look. It's hard to see through the trees, though. They're really big.
All right. I'm just gonna try and listen to see if I hear any movement, any shouts, see any lights.
Great. Give me one sec, because I realized that I missed something very important, which is our spooky music.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you.
Dun, dun,
I'm gonna need some a soundtrack.
About how. Okay, so you're going through, and you're gonna listen and try and hear some things. So roll me a perception check, please.
Okay, that's an 11.
An 11. Okay. You hear faint sounds of shouting, but that's about it.
Okay, I'm just gonna try and go in the opposite direction of the shouting. And is the opposite direction of the shouting? Is that the way that Calamity was pointing, or?
Opposite's hard to do. You could go generally the way you're going and be opposite. You could go both ways and be as far opposite as you can tell.
Okay, I'll try to go in the direction that Calamity had pointed to, if I think that that's somewhat away from the shouts.
It is somewhat away.
Okay.
All right, great. Great. Zagrin, how are we doing? What are we up to? Moving through the woods. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'll keep moving in that direction, trying to make note of if I hear anything, see anything, whether that's friend, foe, anything.
Okay.
Just any clues.
A few minutes pass as you're moving through the woods, and you realize that you are solidly lost. Right? Like, you have no good sense of where you are. You don't see the torches or anybody actively following you, but you are now alone and isolated in the woods.
Do I know? I know I don't know where anybody else is relative to me. Do I know where Icehaven or the cottage the safe house is? Do I know like where those landmarks are, or am I just in the woods?
At this point, roll me a survival check. Let's see if you know either of those things or have a good sense of where those things are.
All right, and result is a 22.
Oh, yeah, you're
Nat
certain
20.
you know the way back to the safe house. And in fact, based on your general sense, you see something that looks not dissimilar to the path that you were on. It looks like it's a little walking path, like a little deer trail, which is what you followed out here to the safe house.
I'll start following that away from the safe house, but not actually on the path, but just slightly off of it, but to where I can see it. But if somebody comes charging through on a horse or something like that, they're not just gonna mow me down or interact. So slightly off the path, but following it away from the safe house.
Okay, so if you're off the path, to be clear, it's going to be much easier to lose it, and you're going to move much slower.
All right, I will stay as far to the left side of the path as I can while still being on the path. But
Got it.
To
You don't
one
want to be
side.
like chomped down by a horse if it runs by, but you do want to definitely not lose it. Okay, no problem. Yeah, so you start walking, man, and like time passes. You don't have any sense of it, but you do see some lights behind you as someone is charging down the path.
Okay.
Well, actually, we're gonna switch away from you at that.
When
moment,
that happens,
and we're gonna cut over to Seleus.
So I don't hear anyone behind me.
So you do hear, at least for the first few minutes, you do hear some sound behind you. You're starting to tire out and slow down.
Mhm.
You're starting to tire out and slow down as you carry it, but you think you've lost any immediate pursuit. But you are now well lost in the woods. Like, you've gone down a fair bit from where you were, and you can actually see that river, that the cottage is on, not far from you. So you're not a terrible distance from this riverbank.
Okay. I'm going to slow my pace, gather my fucking breath, and I'm gonna let out a little a dog bark, and then keep walking slowly.
Okay. Yeah, you don't hear any responses. You do hear sounds out in the woods, and the ground's actually starting to get as you're on this lower ground, the ground starts to get a little bit wetter, almost like you're in a bit of a marshier area. Right? You're starting to hear a lot of like bugs and insects. You get the birds chirping. You get that or not birds chirping. You have the night noises of a forest. So animals, bugs,
Insects.
crickets, all that going on. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. If you want to take some time to wake Declan, you could do that at any point now. It's been a decent bit of time since you've left the safe house.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then yeah, I'll sit him down in like a nice area. I'll administer a health potion and start talking to him when he regains, because I know he's still pretty upset with me, and I'm gonna try and convince him again.
Okay, great. Kit, you're moving now through the forest. It's been a bit. Your invisibility is getting ready to wear off. Like you've been holding that concentration and holding on to it, but it is starting to wear on you. And you're now deep into the woods. We're actually going to change our music again. Yeah. So you're now fairly deep into the woods. What would you like to do?
So it doesn't seem like we're being pursued. Is that correct?
No, and with Yantha's help, Calamity is able to confirm to you that there is no one anywhere near you.
Okay, but that means that I'm also not close by to my friends.
No, and in fact, as you look around, like the woods around you, like that old growth forest, they were a lot of these big pines and other trees, but they were thick around. They looked fairly healthy. Now you're starting to see the trees are starting to look much more gnarled and twisted. There's a lot more dead branches, and the wood almost has an ominous aura to it.
That does not sound great for me.
No?
Okay. This doesn't look familiar. Like, this is not the way we came, I'm
This does
assuming.
not look familiar, no.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna put Calamity down. And I'm assuming right about now I'm probably like losing my invisibility. And I'll just look around, and I don't like the look of this place. It feels something's off about it.
Calamity grabs a coin, and you see the coin begin to glow, and then it spreads out till it's casting more and more light. She holds her hand around it so that like only a little bit of light peeks out, and she starts looking at the trees, and she goes, no, this doesn't look great.
I don't think we're anywhere close to where we're supposed to be. Maybe we should try to find a place to, I don't know, hold up until maybe you can see better. I don't think we should be walking around with a light.
She closes her hand around it. She goes, I can turn it off, but I can't see anything.
I know. I just, it might be safer to try and hunker down. What do you think?
I don't really want to wait here through the night. Do you? I want to get out of here.
Okay, just hold on to me. then and keep the light off and try to find our way out. I just don't want to draw attention.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you keep moving.
Yeah, I just want to try to like see if there's any kind of sign of a path or anything, or if it's just totally like, even if it's a sign of like animal path or something like that, like a game trail or
Yeah.
something
Roll
like that.
roll me a perception.
I'm rolling so bad. That's a 10.
You don't see a trail, but you do see. It looks like almost like streaks of light, like from a firefly. Imagine it's moving really fast. You see him moving out in the distance, like probably 30 feet off to your right. Little passive light, and they seem to be moving a little bit away from you. Clemmy goes, "Did you see that?"
I did. I don't like it. I don't think we should go near it.
Okay.
We should try to steer clear of any signs of anything, really. I've heard stories of things in the woods. I've never really been in the woods myself, but you know, there's legends, and I don't feel like I'm in my element here. I don't know what anything is.
Well, we gotta do something. I don't want to stop, Kit. I don't want to spend the night here.
Okay, let's go. Let's just try to lay low and be quiet, and hopefully we'll find some sort of path eventually.
Okay. Roll me another survival check.
That's better. That's a 17.
Okay. You pick a direction that you think will lead out of the woods, right? You think is generally the way you're going, but you won't know if it's correct for a while. Zagra, back to you. So you hear some galloping behind you. It sounds like there is a rider or two coming through.
How's
It's
my
been probably-
invisibility doing? I imagine
It's getting towards the end.
okay. I will walk off the path into the woods, but in like just as close to a straight line as I can, and not far off the path, but maybe 15 feet or so, and then just lay low and try to hope that whatever it is just passes me by.
Okay. You wait and watch, and you see two cloaked riders, like going at full speed. Right? They've got torches, and they're just riding as fast as they can manage in the dark. And they come into view. You see them go down the path, and they continue down it. They don't look like they're looking. They look like they are running, or trying to get somewhere in a hurry.
Okay, I will try to follow my straight line back to the path and
Yep.
keep going the same direction and speed I was before. When my invisibility does run out, I want to cast Disguise Self on myself to look like one of the Cerberus Assembly folks that I saw in the tavern when we first got there. Not the cloaked guy with the scaly hand or whatever, but just one of the other ones.
One of the other
At
wizards.
least, yep, exactly. Just to make myself look as close to, it's more focused on the clothing than the physical appearance, but just try to blend in with one of the
Okay.
one of the wizards.
The folks you saw, yeah, were wearing wizard robes, right? But they were a very specifically stylized wizard robe. So yeah, absolutely, no problem.
And so I'm no longer invisible, looking like that, and just kind of keep on keeping on down the path.
Keep on going down the path. Great. Selaeus, you wake Declan. Uh,
There you go. Now.
he starts up. He starts back up against the trees, like Slays.
Easy now. Easy. Hang on.
What have you done, Slayus?
I did what was right. You could not trust them. I'm telling you. Within 3 days, Righteous Brand Patrol was coming to take you deeper into the Empire.
That's not. You're lying, Slayus. It's more Len's lies.
I'm not.
I was leaving. They were sending me away.
No.
I traded information and I was done.
They were going to keep harvesting information from you, and then they were going to kill you. I would not let that happen. It is only fortuitous that I was sent to do you in.
Roll me
We
a
are-
persuasion check, please.
We are both at opposite ends. We're both at odds with the lens now. Persuasion, eh?
Yes, please.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
Smart.
Pow! Oh my god, thank god I did that. That's much better. 17, 18. Plus
18.
1.
God damn those bastards.
You can read it yourself. I'm going to hand him the my orders.
We need some light, Slayus. I can't read it by moonlight.
Well, you'll have to read it in the morning.
This business is foul, Slayus.
I agree.
Lens, Cerberus, spying, killing. I can't do it.
And
I'm
you
not
don't
made
have
for
to. You don't have to. I'll get you out of here. But the thing is, it might be difficult now.
You'd betray the lens for me?
I already have. Technically. I've risked a lot getting you out. And I've risked it to give you the life that you deserve.
I don't think they'll ever stop coming for me, Slayus.
They will if they believe you are dead. And we'll work on that in the morning.
Okay.
Until then,
Where the hell are we?
somewhere in the woods. We are being pursued. They are close behind.
Okay.
I hope you remember what I taught you, for you will need it now.
Swift and silent. Like always. And he holds out his hand towards you. Nice.
Yes, son of a bitch.
Great. What direction are you looking to go? So you can follow the river, but you're gonna have to go through some of that marshland area. You can go back up kind of the way you came and double back around to try and cut through it. Or do something else.
What level of monk is Declan?
That's not a question that makes any sense. Declan is a trained. Sorry, that was a poor way to say it. Declan is a trained agent of the lens. He is a Volhai monk that has completed the tests of readiness that y'all go through.
Okay.
Right? Like Declan is someone that is sent out on missions on his own or as part of a team. Right? He's young, but he is, capable according to the monastery. You could see when you were fighting him that he was not a total punk.
He's not a pushover. Yeah. Do you remember the technique of stepping of the wind?
I can move silently, and I can move quickly.
We will do that now. And so burn a key point, step of the wind. So we ignore difficult terrain and we're just gonna dash along. Let's go through the river, like rock hopping.
Not that kind of river. This is a big river at this point.
Okay.
Right. So there's some streams and things that have flowed into it. This is big and wide. Like you're not
Okay, so
you're not getting
let's-
across to that swimming.
Okay, let's go like along the banks then.
Okay.
You know,
So you're gonna
difficult
try
terrain
and
is
follow it.
nothing.
You're gonna try and follow it, but you're gonna try and follow it for a long time. You can't do that forever, right? Like you're gonna be into some swamp, and like that's just the fact of it.
Okay, but once we follow the river, I would know how to get to the town from the river, correct?
So the river, like you know that the river intersects with the coast, and then the town is on the coast.
Mhm.
So you do have a general sense of that. So if you follow the river, you will get out of the forest.
There
right?
you go.
won't wander lost.
That's all I need to know.
Okay, but you're gonna have to pass through the swamp.
Yeah, and treating difficult terrain as if it's normal terrain.
It's only gonna be very temporary, right? Like it's a lot. You have to cover a lot of distance. So this is gonna be a very difficult path to go through.
We're gonna do it. Well, we're gonna do it
Okay.
for this turn right now, at least for
We're doing it in big
90
chunks of
feet
time.
right now.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it in big chunks of time, so you're gonna have a fair bit of time to go through. But we'll come back to that after. With the
Right.
you're going through the swamp path. Fair?
Right.
Okay.
2 shadow monks running through the night. What's cooler than that?
Not a ton. Kit. Back to you. So you're moving in the direction that you think you're going. You continue to see those lights off to the right as you're moving, and as you listen, you hear faint sounds of laughter, almost like children laughing.
Uh-oh.
Paula knows what this is, but would Kit know what this is?
Roll me a nature check.
Okay.
Just
No,
kids.
and the answer is no. Absolutely, Kit would not. Kit has spent literally 0 time in the woods ever.
That's actually a really good roll. That's 19.
Right? Yeah. Kit doesn't know anything about the woods, so it's strange.
She hasn't heard stories of what this could be. She'll ask Calamity. She'll just say, I'm afraid of what that. It doesn't seem. It doesn't seem right. Do you know what that? Do you know what it is?
Calamity, who's been holding your hand tight, right? Or now she's been holding onto your belt and she's holding on tight. Just, I don't fucking know what anything is out here.
Ooh,
What's going
right.
on? Can't see anything.
You don't hear that laughing?
I hear something. I hear woods creaking. I hear things howling. I thought I heard, I don't know, a hyena or something.
Oh, I don't know what a hyena is. Okay. I'm going to I'm gonna say, all right, can you just stay here? I'm gonna put her hand up against a tree. Like,
You're leaving me? Don't leave me. Don't leave me.
hold this just for a minute, all right? I want to see what this is. It's gonna bother me. I just want to see if it's dangerous or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not dangerous. I don't know. Just stay here for a sec.
Let me come with you. If it's dangerous, I can burn it. I'll burn whatever. I'll let this whole damn forest on fire.
No, that's not a good idea. Any kind of fire right now will just alert people to our location, especially if we're being followed. I think we should save that as like a emergency only.
Don't abandon me, Kit. And she grabs onto the tree and she just stands there. You can see her looking around, but she's doing that like you can see and she can't, right? You can see she's looking at nothing, right?
Oh, I've been in really dark woods before, and it's terrifying, especially when you can't like even see your hand in front of your face. Okay, I'm just gonna leave her there, and I'm gonna try to go a little bit closer to the lights, but not like too close. And I'm going really, really quietly.
Yeah, roll me a stealth check.
I can do that.
Stealth your jam.
26.
Nice. You begin moving. And you see, going just a little bit in, like about 15, 20 feet, you see the lights keep seeming to move further away as you get closer, but you do see what looks like some old cobblestone in the road, and there's a bit of a trail going this way.
Ooh, okay, good. I'll go back and get Calamity, and
She's gone.
say no. I found the trail. Okay, we can maybe try and follow it carefully, quietly, cautiously.
Can I use the light? We haven't heard anyone. Yantha hasn't heard anyone.
But lights can be seen from very far away, and this kind of darkness, it's risky. I know you can't see anything else. I wish I could help with that. If you
If
want,
we hear anything, if Yantha hears anything, I'll put it out right away. I can
Okay,
turn it off
just-
like that.
try to keep it covered as much as possible, if you can.
All right. So you see her using it just in her palm, right, and just shedding a little light so she can see a little bit where she walks.
Okay.
You begin following the trail, and you find that you are on what looks like a very old path, and you start to see small brick and stone ruins as you go, like crumbled down things, and the lights keep moving up ahead of you, but it looks like they're staying kind of just out of easy reach. You think maybe you see figures, and you're sure that you're hearing faint laughter every now and again. And with that, we're going to switch over to Zagrin.
God
Zagrin, you continue along the trail for another hour. There's no noise, right? There's no clear indication, but you're now pretty sure you're close. So the way it worked is there's the town of Icehaven. It's not a walled town, right? Inside there was that walled compound where you had that stuff, but you could approach it fairly easily. There was a camp outside where the caravans were parked, and there was a big open field around the town, right? Like a big open field around the town. And you're now getting towards the edge of the wood. Like within another 30 minutes or so, you should be at the clearing to the wood.
I will cast Disguise Self, like keep it refreshed on me so it doesn't wear out. When it's about to wear out, I'll refresh it. And I'm going to head towards where the caravans are. Once I kind of have my bearings and I think I know where I am, I want to head towards, and I want to go talk to Brave Light and friends.
Okay.
So I'm going to head in that direction.
Okay. Once you get out into the clearing, past the
Exactly.
woods.
Right. So just keep on the path, and then once I'm out, that's going to be my first destination rather than town proper. And then as I get out and and I can see the actual, like the camp, I will stop casting Disguise Self so I look like regular Zagrim with my mask as I'm headed towards the camp, but only then.
Great. So you continue moving, and you do get to the clearing around, or you do get closer to the clearing. But as you're getting closer, you see lights. And you see lights out in the area, and you see some lights coming in the direction that you're moving.
Okay, I will make sure that I am disguised. But then I'm gonna once again stop where I am and try to just walk into the woods in a straight line again and hide in the woods again. And
How far in are you going?
let's say 20 feet. Yeah, 20 feet.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
And we got a 14.
Okay. Okay. As you're looking, or as you're in there hiding, you can see now one of the horsemen that you saw before. One of the horsemen and four folks that look like uniformed Righteous Brand soldiers, marching along. They've got torches, and they're beginning to walk down that trail towards the woods, or towards the place.
How far are they from me?
Again, about 20 feet. They're on the path, right? They are going to cross within about 20 feet if you stay and don't move.
All right, I will just try to stay hidden and hope that they keep on walking past me.
You can see them looking as they go, peering out into the woods. One of them has a lantern, and it's like a bullseye lantern. He's shining it into the woods as they move, and they pass over you. The light passes over your hiding, like you're sure that your eyes are going to be reflected back, but they continue moving as you wait out there in the woods.
All right.
All right, we're going to move away from you and go to Saleus. So Saleus, you and Declan have gone into the swamp, but there is a lot of it, and it is thick, and it is beginning to bog you down quite literally as you're moving.
Hey, yo.
You can hear buzzing. You can hear buzzing. Actually, roll me a perception check, please.
Yes, sir. Oh, 19 plus 7.
Okay. You hear buzzing, and you hear what sounds like a faint whimpering noise, almost like an animal whimper, like a wounded animal, along with this very loud buzzing. There's a slightly higher patch of ground, like a mound of ground. You think it's coming from over there. It's probably 40, 50 feet.
A wounded animal. I mean, we're huffing it, right? Like we're like.
Well, so eventually you slow down, right? Because you're moving through thick bog, so you cannot keep huffing it. Like at this point, you are stepping through sometimes waist deep, sometimes chest deep water and mud as you go through this ground. Sometimes you get lucky and it's higher. It's cold out, like it's cold. You are wet. There are stinging bugs everywhere. Like you're getting bit constantly. This sucks as hard or harder than any march you've been on in your life. This is about the worst thing you've done trail wise. You definitely are keeping track with the river. Like there's no doubt you're not lost, but this is really shitty, and it stinks like a bog.
Yeah, stay close, and I'm gonna trudge toward the higher ground, maybe closer to the whimpering animal sound, and just keep an eye out. I've got superior dark vision, like 120 feet.
Yeah.
I'm like, scoping it out.
You begin moving closer. You can see a figure. Now that you're looking at it, you can see a figure on the mound, laying mostly prone, like propped up against the rock, and you can see something like the size of like a cat on this thing's chest, You're having trouble making it out, but that's the figure that's doing the whimpering.
Is the creature that's on the person? The person isn't moving, or the person is doing the whimpering?
The
And there's
figure is doing the whimpering. You can see it moving like a little bit, like it lifts its head. As it lifts its head, you see that it's not like a standard elven or human or dwarven face. Like it's much more angular. Like it has a proper snout. But it is a humanoid creature.
a humanoid creature with a snout.
That could be a dragonborn or a lizard folk or something else, but you can't quite see from this distance what that is. Not without getting closer.
All right. Here, use my old staff. And Declan, my old staff.
He looks at you, he's like, what the hell? It's like,
You said
give
you
my
didn't
staff back.
You said you didn't want to get into fighting anymore.
I don't want to kill people for the lens, Slayus. But whatever.
That should be fine. You'd kill people for you, would you?
For me and for the people I love, if I have to, yeah.
Excellent. You might have to. I approach.
Yeah, so as you get closer, you can see that now that you're looking at it, the figure, as you're now at the edge of that mound, so the ground's starting to get more solid, and you see the figure is covered in fur, and almost has like an animal shaped. It's like some sort of kind of like a dog, but not a dog. Big fangs. It's got one of its ears is very ragged, and on its chest there's this creature. It almost looks like a giant mosquito. It's got this large proboscis or whatever it's called, proboscis, and it's stuck into this. Whatever, yeah, proboscis sounds right. That sounds like the right word.
That sounds like the right word. I don't know if it is or not.
Yeah. Well, I like it anyway. Proboscis. We're going to say that. I'm going to say it a lot now. The proboscis, the large proboscis, is stuck into the creature's chest, and you can see it drawing out. Looks like it's drawing out blood. The creature is and beginning to fall away. It's got a bone necklace. It's got a bone necklace on it. It's got strange colors on its fur. It's muddy and dirty. And beside it is a jagged looking, like a brutal looking cleaver thing in one arm. But it looks like it's in bad shape. And again, this thing is sitting there on it. Its wings now still as it's slowly draining this thing.
Can I take up my hand crossbow?
Absolutely.
And take a shot at it?
Absolutely. I was hoping you'd do that.
Okay.
And we'll come back to that after we hop over to Kit.
Good job.
So Kit, you're moving further. The sound of laughter is getting a little bit louder, and now that you're looking at, the lights are getting a little bit brighter. Up ahead, you see there's actually some of the runes are beginning to get denser, and you can see what looks like a series of large menhirs stacked in a circle. The lights seem to be moving around that center of that circle. This is where the path leads.
Can I get a sense? Can I make a sanity check here? Can I get a sense of whether or not this seems safe?
It does not seem safe. Absolutely
Okay.
not. Absolutely does not seem safe. Right? Nothing, but to be clear, nothing about what you're doing seems safe. Right? You are in a deep, dark wood with large, strange-looking trees. There are hey, folk. Sorry about that. The last thing I was saying to Kit is this absolutely does not seem safe at all. And beyond that, you actually realize that you're on kind of a hill, and you can see down below. Probably there's a little bit of a clearing, and you can see what looks like a ways off, but what looks like a bright fire actually burning.
Ew.
I'm gonna turn to Calamity and just say, I think we made a mistake following this path. We may should go the other way.
Calamity looks scared as hell. Calamity looks scared as hell, and she goes, "Where the fuck should we go?"
I don't know. I've never been in the woods. I'm sorry. That's just. It doesn't seem like it's a good idea to approach.
You hear a crack from behind you in the darkness. Something has stepped on a branch. Looking around out there, roll me a perception check.
Okay. That's a 17.
You think, but you're not sure. You think you see some movement on the trail behind you.
I got excited. Okay. Can I just take Calamity, like take her by the hand and like pull her off the trail and try to hide?
Absolutely. Roll me a stealth with disadvantage as you're taking Calamity with you.
Still good. That's a 23.
Nice. You move out. Right, and off the trail, and you can see some figures. It looks like four hunched over figures begin moving up the trail. Like 2 of them on the trail, 2 of them off to either side. And now that you're looking at them, they have that same kind of hunched look that the hound had. Long fingers, sunken flesh, large lolling tongues, and they stop. They get over to where you are. You can hear Stefan. They're looking out around in the darkness.
I have my hand over Calamity's mouth. And I am just sweating bullets right now. Like, I'm just trying to be as still and quiet as possible.
Yeah, you hear the sniffing, and they look around. One of them kind of creeps over towards you a little bit, right, like about maybe half the distance, and then turns, looks off in another direction, and begins stepping, now crawling on all fours, trying to be as quiet as it can. Its large clawed fingers leaving rents in the ground. You can see now, like it's got these like desiccated toes and feet, some with branches like sticking right through parts of it. There are chunks of flesh missing on these things as they move. As they begin to move away from you, you can see now inside that ring, you can see those lights now begin to move faster and faster. And one of the lights, they begin spinning, and one light starts moving towards you. And with that, we're going to hop over to Zagran. Zagran. So the folks at the those folks on that group that went up the pathway continues to walk past you, looking out into the woods. You're now very close to the edge of the woods, where you think you're very close. What would you like to do?
I will drop my disguise and start making my way towards where I believe that the woods ends. And
do you want to go back on the path, or are you going to go through the woods?
If I think I know where the woods ends, or I'll stay off the path, maybe get a little closer, so I'm like 10 feet just to see it a little bit better. So like half the distance back towards the path, still following it, but not in disguise.
Okay. It takes you probably being off the path, it takes you another 30 minutes to get to the edge of the woods. And as you do so, you see that area between the woods and the town. And what you can see is a number of figures on horseback with torches. You can see people out. Well, you can't see, but you can see lights moving out in that space, and you can hear the occasional woof, 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 woof. It sounds like someone has gone and gotten dogs, and some of these lights and things are beginning to move towards the wood line.
Okay, I will. How far do I see anyone or just hear them?
You can see lights and you can hear people yelling. You know, there's probably 800 meters from the town to the wood line, right? So it's a good distance, right? Like they've cleared everything close to the town, but you know, the beginning of the forest is some distance. So there's a lot of ground to cover and there's a lot of space, right? So it'd be hard to see, but you do definitely hear dogs barking.
All right, I'm gonna use.
And you can hear people yelling to each other, right? As if they're coordinating some kind of search.
Yeah, I'll use my last spell slot, and assuming it does have a verbal component, but I'll risk it. I'm gonna cast invisibility again on myself.
Okay. Do you want to move back into the woods a little bit and
yeah,
cast it as quietly as you can?
Exactly. I go back to where I'm still able to find. I don't want to get lost again, so not super far back into the woods, and again try to just straight line as much as possible, and then pivot so I'm facing the same way I just came from, and then I'll cast invisibility on myself.
Great, great. So, that's fantastic. So you cast invisibility. It works. You go back to the edge of the tree line. You can see what looks like the pursuers or people out there. Again, you can hear them coordinating and moving.
Okay, I'm going to follow the tree line of the woods in the direction, because I'm a little bit off the path, right? I'm like 10 feet off the path. I want to get back into the woods a little bit. Let's say 10 feet. And then I want to head straight line as much as possible away from the path, still in the woods, but only about 10 feet from where it ends. So I'm going not deeper into the woods, but just running like parallel to the wood line. And I'm going to do that for, let's say, 60 feet away from the path. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to rest. I'm going to just kind of hunker down and wait to see if I see any indication that somebody's around, but just try to lay low and not move.
So you're going to leave the wood line, run parallel to it, basically trying to get further distance, but you're only going to go about 60 feet, and then you're going to wait there.
Right. Something to where I can, yep, exactly, and just kind of sit down and wait and hopefully hear somebody that I know and not somebody that I don't, but not wanting to head first into the pursuers or the people looking for us, but just hide in the woods invisible.
Just some context from where you're looking, right? It does look like there are like a lot of light sources out there, maybe hard to count, but in the dozens, right? 2 to 3 dozen light sources out there moving. And 2 to 3 dozen light sources out there moving. And it does look like it's a lot of folks moving in different directions, but there are certainly people moving towards the wood line. So if you stay there, it's reasonable to expect that someone might move relatively close to where you are, just after watching for a minute or two. It looks like people are out there searching in the dark, and specifically trying to make it hard for anyone to get from the wood line to the town without being seen.
How tall, thick, etc. are the trees around me right now? Would I be able to climb one and hide in a tree?
They're not bad. So there's some old pines, All right. It's plausible.
Yeah, as long as they're not, they're just shrubs at the wood line, you know what I mean? I'm hiding on top of a bush. But if there's any kind of like vertical
these are fairly big trees, right? Like this is not a place that's been subject to a lot of a lot of log. It looks like it was logged up to about where it's at, and then no further yet.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to try to head up a tree. That way I can hopefully see some distance. Or if I see somebody, a friend, like running out of the woods, I can see out a little bit better.
Okay. Once again, as long as it's nighttime, it's going to be hard to see anybody, right? Even with your dark vision.
Yeah. Priority one is still not get discovered more than discover my friend. So I'm going to head up the tree.
Okay. Great. Roll me a survival check first, please.
Sure. Let's see. 7.
Okay. Okay. This seems like a fine plan.
Sure does.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So you climb up a tree, and you're gonna wait for a bit there.
Yeah, if possible, I'd like to do like a wait up there for an hour and short rest until my spell wears off, or at least start short resting, assuming I don't get interrupted. But catching my breath, and even if it means paying less attention to my surroundings or looking for people, just trying to regain my composure as I try to think of what I'm going to do next.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just make a on-the-fly ruling that we're not gonna be able to short rest and concentrate on a spell at the same time.
That's fine.
So,
Yeah, I think that makes total sense. So yeah, I'll drop the invisible once I'm up the tree.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So climbing the tree.
It's a relatively easy climb to get a good ways up, but after about 20 feet, you're gonna need to get any higher. You're gonna need to roll some athletics to get up further up the tree.
Not with my -2. I'm not going to try that. So I'll be 20 foot up and no longer invisible, and hope that that it's just dark enough that and no one's looking up. So I'll risk it, but I want to try to get my spell slots back if I can.
Great.
So I will rest and take the risk.
Awesome. Selaeus, you take aim on the creature. You can see, it continuing to suck something through. What was the word they used?
Proboscis.
Proboscis. Fuck, that's a good word. Through its proboscis.
I put it in the Discord if anyone wants to check it out. But that's how you spell it.
Okay, I love it.
Proboscis.
Proboscis. Yeah. All right. So take your shot.
I take aim. I shoot. 17?
17 hits.
And it's a 1d6 plus 5. 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. All right. Your thing, your dart pierces through the thing, rips it open. You see blood spill out all over the thing, and back into one of those little swamp trees not far away. Yeah.
I go over to the creature.
Yeah, Declan comes with you. You're looking at this thing, and you know what? You think you've seen something like this before. Roll me a nature or arcana check.
Both sick. What sorcery is this? 16.
This is a fucking gnoll. These horrible little creatures are vicious, brutal, insane, like demonic plagues. Like these things inhabit the wastes. Mm-hmm. These things inhabit the wastes, and you're people who have made an effort to, reach out to all the different peoples of the waste, right? Like the goblins, the humans, the ogres, the orcs, all these folks. Like gnolls are still fucking kill on sight for your people, right? Because their gnoll tribes will rise up in league with demons and devils and will kill and murder, pointlessly and constantly. Like they are the fucking worst. And this is one of those bastards, and he is about dead.
He's about dead.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like a stinger stuck in him or something.
Well, no, it pulled out as the thing flew away, but he's got holes. He's got a hole in his chest, and actually, now that you look at it, he's got a hole in his gut. He's got a hole in his arm. He's got a hole in his thigh. His hole in the other thigh. This guy's actually been gotten by a lot of these things.
Oh shit. All right. Let's move quickly.
You hear that buzzing sound again. You hear that
Damn.
buzzing sound again, and it gets louder. You look around now. Roll me another perception.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a nat 20.
Nice. There's actually more of these things, more of these gnolls on the ground, and more little giant, or actually gigantic cat-sized mosquito creatures all around. They are all over this mound. Like, gotta be at least 20.
Okay. Let's book it. So we're gonna double run it. We're gonna step of the wind again. That's 90-foot movement speed.
Okay, Declan does not move as fast as you do through the swamp. So Declan can't do that gray swamp. Like, he's fast, but he's not Soleil's fast.
Okay. Well, I'll stick at his speed. What is his speed? Is his speed about a 45-foot movement
If
speed?
sprinting, he can get 45 feet when moving through the swamp, provided he doesn't hit anything really heavy, right? So as you go through the swamp, you have to be worried, right? Because the swamp has little sinkholes in it. So if you're not careful as you move through, you could fall in and potentially begin to drown, right? This will suck you down. So
Okay.
sprinting
Well, I'll
through
take
is
the
a
lead.
deeply dangerous activity.
I'll take
Okay.
the lead, and yeah, let's do it. We're gonna go as fast as possible, but I'll take the lead.
Roll me a stealth check to try and get out of there first, just without disturbing the other creatures.
Stealth's my jam, you know. Oh yeah, we got this. 15 plus 8. Yeah, we got this, baby.
You do got it. Like, you're silent and you're moving down that hill, and Declan's coming with you. And you hear a crack as Declan steps on a branch. You turn and you look back in horror, and you can hear buzzing zzzz, as a horde of these creatures begin to lift off and swirl around. And with that, we're going to cut over to Kit. A horde of these things begin to lift off and swirl around.
Declan.
That's the problem with having a buddy. Kit. You see this thing, this light, begin to trail over and move in your general direction. You see that creature stick out its tongue, taste the air, and it begins following that light source. And the light source, along with a little tinkly laugh, begins to move closer and closer towards you. The thing steps and begins crawling towards that light source, following it. Its large eyes. You can see it reflecting the light from that creature. What do you want to do? The others seem to have moved a little bit further and are moving into that circle, but the one in that bright light are moving towards you.
The bright light is moving towards me.
Or moving into your area, but it's like flitting around and going.
And the hound-like creature seems to be looking at the light.
Yeah. It's following it and moving towards it.
I am just gonna try to stay hidden. I'm gonna crouch down even further, and I'm going to keep my hand over Calamity's mouth and just stay totally silent.
Okay. Just one sec.
I love that with
All
the
right.
music, it's really punctuated by crickets. It's just
Yeah.
very, very thematic.
So, the light moves over towards you, and it dims. It dims till you can barely see it, like a little tiny pinprick of light, and it floats over towards your face, and you can see it going in front of you. Um, the creature, the creature begins to lose interest or lose track of it, and begins crawling back towards the center. Um, it the light lifts up and dips around behind you. You and Calamity turn and you look at it. Your hand over Calamity's mouth as you look, and then it begins to brighten and brighten and brighten and shed more and more light. Um, you have a moment, but you're fully illuminated in bright light as this circle of light is there around you. Anything you'd like to do?
What is this? Okay. I just want to try and like can I still see the creature, like the source of the light, or
It looks like
just
it
the
is.
light?
It is the light.
Okay.
It's pretty small.
I'm just gonna try to like get away. Like just try to move away from it. Dragging
Okay.
Calamity with me.
So move towards the circle, like it's now behind you. So the circle is in front of you.
No, I'm not moving towards the circle.
Oh, you're gonna start running.
Because that's where the creatures went, right? The Helmlight creatures. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go the other way. So I'm gonna try to start, trying to escape.
Okay, it's shedding a lot of bright light around you. It's shedding a lot of bright light around you. But yeah, roll me some initiative because you're running.
Okay. Okay, not bad. That's 18.
Okay, the things are beginning to move around you, but you have a second. You can move, and if you're dragging Calamity with you, you're going to move at half your speed, unfortunately.
Can I just not drag her and just grab her by the hand and tell her to come with me? Like,
Absolutely.
okay, yeah, we're running together, but I want to make sure that I'm still guiding her. I know it's light in that circle, but I still want to like not get separated from her. So
Okay. Okay, so y'all are going to run together, basically. Sorry, did I lose you?
I don't want to leave her behind. Yeah.
Okay. 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 So you're gonna run together with Calamity. So you guys make a bolt for it, right? As you do so, you're running in the dark unless you're gonna let Calamity, or I guess Calamity like lets out her light so she can see as she runs, right? Considering y'all are brightly lit anyway, and you begin trucking it through the forest. She's slower than you, for sure. So you're waiting for her. As you make some distance, you hear those creatures begin to scream, almost scream, but it's a dry, like kind of noise. And you can hear movement in the woods behind you as something is chasing you.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just trying to get away as fast as possible.
Okay.
And I don't want to leave Calamity behind, so I will just slow down to match her pace, but I'm like urging her forward. Like, let's go. Hurry.
Okay. You start running. And moving through the woods. So going from where the thing was behind you, turning to the left, avoiding the circle, and running, you're beginning to run downhill, and in fact, not far, or in the same general direction that you saw that big fire.
Wait,
Do you want to turn again to avoid that?
Yeah, no, I want to go away from the fire. Yeah.
Okay, so you run a little bit towards that fire, and then you turn again to kind of go around that circle. You turn again to go around that circle, and you are running through the darkness. Calamity shuts you. He's like, let's just fucking fight. Let's just burn him. I can't run.
We're outnumbered. What if we can't fight? It's better to run.
Yeah, so she's like, I can't run much longer. They're gonna catch me, and I'd rather die while I have breath if I'm gonna die.
I'm not gonna leave you. Is there anything nearby that seems like we could take cover behind it, like a fallen tree or a rock or anything like that?
There are lots of things. You can see that light is continuing to chase you. However, you can see those lights are continuing to chase you, and now there's two of them. Now you look at it. One's gone wide to your left, one's gone wide to your right, and they're zipping towards you. You can see the track that they're making out there in the darkness. You are outpacing them, but not by a ton.
Just gonna try to go find cover behind a log or something and get ready to fight.
Okay, you
I
and
guess.
Calamity want to hide?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check.
Do I get advantage on that?
Yeah, you do. If you're holding your dagger, right?
Yeah. That's
Yep.
really good. I rolled a natural 1, so that's a lot better. That's a 21.
Okay. Okay, so you and Calamity hop down behind a tree stump and hide. And we'll see how well that works when we come back to you two. With that, we cut over to Zagrin taking your long rest. Zagrin, you look out into the night and you see a break. There's going to be a 10-minute break. You're sure of it. Right this second.
Oh my god,
That's,
you got me. I was like, what?
What does it look
All
like?
right, folks.
Looks like an awesome waiting video.
Yeah, it does look like an awesome waiting video. Folks, really, really appreciate you watching. I hope this has been interesting as we try and get through whatever's happening here. And we will see you in about 10 minutes. And yeah, with that, stay tuned for more of this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are live once again, folks. Welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us. Let's talk a little bit about some just general things. First off, you're watching Heroes Die Show. We are live every Saturday from 1 to 4 Central Time, with live being relative. But the first time an episode airs is always going to be from 1 to 4 Saturday. No one will have watched it before. We are your cast here. I'm the game master. We've got Paula playing Kit, Josh playing Zagrin, Mike playing Seleus. This week we're missing Taya playing Essie, but she will be back next week. She'll be back next week, and she is lost in the woods. We don't know where she is or what she's up to. Well, I know, but none of the rest of you know where she is and what she's up to. So we're going to find out more the week after next. So you want to see it, be here Saturday, 1 to 4 Central Time. This is where it happens. Check out our Discord. Check out our social media. If you want, check out our Patreon. We, do stuff on occasion, and you can help support the show. I think that's all I have. I want to say thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks for being here and making the show so awesome. Like, we do it for ourselves because it's fun, but we also do it because we want people to watch, and so it means a lot when you're here. So thank you. That sound good? Do you want to do a recap? Want to talk about what happened? Everybody's lost in the woods. They're lost. We don't know where they are. Well, some of them know where they are, but they don't know where each other are. I guess everyone knows where they're at. For two of you, for all three of you, where you're at seems to be in deep shit right now. So yeah, let's cut back to the action. We have been running. So our folks have been running through the woods or trying to make their way through the woods. Kit has found herself surrounded by some very distasteful but hungry creatures, along with their wispy light emitting companions. Seleus finds himself and Declan on kind of a mound of earth in the swamp, surrounded by at least 4 corpses of gnolls, all of them with these giant cat-sized mosquito things in them. And Declan unfortunately just stepped on something that made a large noise, and the swarm seems to be lifting off, looking for new prey. And Zagrin finds himself run up a tree, or climbed up a tree anyway, waiting and trying to rest while he recovers his magical power through his connection with Lirimnor. That all sound about right? Awesome, folks. Let's go to Zagrin. So Zagrin, as you're up there, you see those lights keep coming closer and closer to the tree line. You can hear the animals getting closer. You're about 15 minutes into your attempted short rest. You're beginning to fear that they may get up to you well before your power is restored.
So
is there anything you'd like to do, or do you want to continue to rest there?
How many are headed towards my direction, or can I not tell just lights?
You can see at least 6 lights are moving towards the wood line, with many more continuing to move around out there in the night. It does sound like some of the dogs barking are moving that way towards the wood line.
I will. At least for right now, I'm going to continue just trying to lay low. Continue resting, but primarily just trying to focus on looking like a tree, I guess, is my goal here. Just trying to be quiet, still, and hoping that again that they're looking down more than up. But I fear that getting out of the tree would probably make more noise than staying in the tree at this point.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just gonna
Everyone's gonna wait it out. So you hide
pray to the
as best you
Luxon then.
can.
Yeah, I'm saying some prayers.
Okay. Okay, roll me a stealth check with advantage. You have a lot of time to prepare here. I'm going to need you to hold on to that number as I ask for it later, okay?
Will do.
All right, Saleus. Mosquitoes are buzzing. You see them begin to lift off a crowd of them. There's easily a dozen, if not two.
And are we? We're on the edge of this mound right now.
Yes, you are. You can see some more mounds out there. So the best way to travel through this kind of swamp is kind of mound to mound, but you don't know what the depth of water is between you and the next one, right? And the problem is the water gets like the water's okay, but it's that thick mud underneath. It's that thick mud underneath.
So these bugs are kind of they're focused in an area. They're looking for us.
Well, they're starting to swarm. They're starting to get up and move around, right? Flying into the air. You can hear as their wings buzz around.
Yeah. God damn it. Bugs. Okay. I am going to use my last 2 key points. I'm going to grab Declan and I'm going to go quickly but quietly and cast Pass Without Trace. So I'm going to shroud myself in silency shadow and try and make it from one mound to another without alerting more bugs.
Help me out again. You're going to cast Pass Without Trace, and you're going to try and sneak away.
Yeah, so we're like veiled in shadow and silence, and it could encompass both of us, and it would give us was it a +10 bonus to our stealth checks?
Okay, but you're going to be moving through. You're going to be moving through water, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but extra sneaky, moving through water and try not to alert more mosquitoes.
Okay. So you cast Pass Without Trace and you begin moving through the water, right? And are you going to be trying to run, or so you're not going to be able to sneak and run? So you're going to have to go relatively slow.
We're going relatively slow. We just don't want to attract the bugs. We don't want them to come toward us.
Okay.
So right now they're starting to swarm. They're looking. Hopefully they still smell the blood of the knoll that they're feasting on still, the active. And so hopefully we could slip away without being swarmed.
Great. Okay, great. So you do so, and you begin moving up between, right? You begin moving up between. It looks like 2 or 3 of those flying creatures are beginning to now move a lot closer to you, right? So a lot of the swarm is still moving around. Some of them are beginning to land on other things, but a couple of them are circling right around where you're moving. They look confused, like they're having trouble coming in, but they're getting closer, right?
This is good.
They're getting
closer.
them.
Keep moving. Keep moving.
Okay. All right, you keep moving. Give me just one sec. You continue to move. You and Declan, you're staying low. You're in the water. It's getting a little bit deeper. One of them begins darting towards you, like it's coming in for like an attack run. You can see it coming right at you.
And I can catch
One of
it.
them's going towards Declan. This now is where we do an initiative.
Okay. Me and the bugs. Oh, what is that? That's an 18, 19, 20, 21.
You go first. One bug's coming in right at you.
Well, I'm going to swing at it with my staff. Crack it out of
Okay.
the air.
All right, do it.
That would be my first action, and then I have another one after that. Oh my god. Or should I? Hold on.
You
No,
don't have a
I'm
lot
just
of
gonna
time. This is kind of a split-second decision.
Okay, rather than hit it out of the air, I want to grab it and crush it.
Okay, great.
So a hand attack
Yep.
instead. 16
16 hits.
and 1d6 plus 6. 10 for the first one.
Yeah, so you grab it and squish it. You can feel its body crumple in your hand. The Knoll blood and guts begin running down your fist. Now, unfortunately, Declan's a little bit behind you, so the other one is not within your range without you lunging back towards him, which will make a little bit of noise.
I'll do it. I'll do it
Okay.
for my boy. 15.
15. Yeah, that hits.
Yes.
Once again, whack! Your hand passes through it, like this time chopping it like a little knife hand, chopping it right into, again, spraying more gore out there.
8.
Yeah. The other two still flying, now more agitated, but not seemingly any closer to finding you. You continue to try and move sneakily through the swamp towards the next mound. Looking, you see more creatures out there in the air. This swamp seems to be infested with these things. All
So
right.
we're going to go from mound to mound and still like slow.
Yeah.
Grabbing
How
these
long
things
does
out of the air.
how long does Pass Without Trace last?
Well, I'll tell you, buddy.
Well, tell me when we come back to you, because
I
we're now
will.
over on Kit.
Okay.
Kit, you've jumped behind this thing. You and Calamity. Those wisps are moving, kind of like flanking out there in a big circle towards you. You have a minute to prepare, but you can hear things coming your way. What would you like to do?
Oh. Okay. Just we just get around to the other side of the fallen log, and I press my back up against it and pull out my dagger, and just look over at Calamity and say, "Are you ready? You ready to fight?"
Calamity holds her hands, and you see this little spark of flame in between them, and she just nods. You can see her face illuminated in it. As the fire catches her eye, you can see there's a lot of fear in there, but for the first time you see some like a smile creeping onto her face as the glint of the fire comes in.
Little pyro.
Fire seems to really make Calamity happy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so just holding an action for when something gets close enough to attack. I have my dagger ready.
Okay. You'll be able to do something next turn. Those light sources are beginning to streak in towards you. You can hear some movement out there as those things are making that as they move forward. They're getting closer, but they're still a good distance away. All right. More crashing and other sounds, and the wisp round the corner, and they're there. They're there now, coming around this down tree, and you see one to either side of you. You may act.
Okay, I am just going to throw my dagger.
All right, you're unseen, so you can take advantage on your first attack.
Ooh. excellent. I rolled the same. But it's a dirty 20. And then, I didn't have all my dice ready because I get sneak attack, right?
You do.
Yes, yes. So that is. Oh yeah. Okay. Give me just a second here. That is 8 plus 5, 13. That could be better, but
13.
no, I get one more. Wait, is it 3? Is it 3d6 plus my whoa, it's 3d6? Whoa. I was rolling d4s. Hold up.
All
I
right,
know
roll
what
again.
I'm doing here. Oh, that's so much better. That's 16 plus 5 is 21.
Okay.
It's a lot better.
God damn.
A lot better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you shoot your dagger out, and it pierces the thing, and the light just goes out as your dagger flies back into your hand.
Okay. That's all I can do, right?
Unless you're doing something else. Yeah, that's your main thing.
Yeah, that's my turn.
All right, Calamity. She again takes that ball of fire and flings it at the other one. Takes that ball of fire and flings it at the other one. And misses. So it darts out of the way and avoids that firebolt, which slams into a tree behind it, smoldering a little bit, just causing a little ash to form as that extremely hot flame burns in place. The creature that creature darts over at Calamity, and attempts to hit her. Yeah. So you see Calamity. Get shocked by this thing as just a little a little lightning shock darts out and gets her.
Does it seem like it hurts pretty bad, or is
does
it more
seem
just
like it
like a
hurts pretty
little?
bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
she looks. Yeah, she
Not
cries
cute.
out, "Ow! Shit!" Her hand burned. Those 4 other creatures dart forward. One of them jumping right over the log that you're on and landing back to the 2 of you and turns. Another crawling over the log from the other side to the right of Calamity, and a third crawling over to your left, and one is up on the log looking down. You're now surrounded by 4 of these creatures, and they don't yet have a chance to act. With that, we're gonna cut over to Selaeus.
Not Zagrin?
No, not Zagrin. Zagrin's hanging up in the tree for now.
He's resting.
Zagrin's having a merry old time. Zagrin's having a merry old time. You make it over to the next mound. And you're currently clear of any of those things. So the 2 that were buzzing around you seem to have buzzed off, quite literally, and gone somewhere else. But as you get to that next mound, you see up in the tree there are at least 4 of those things sitting in branches, just sitting there, just kind of waiting. There's a couple of them move occasionally, like zzz, zzz.
Oh, I hate them so much, Jason.
They're that long proboscis looking around in different directions, but they don't seem to see you right underneath them.
Okay, it's concentration up to an hour.
Okay.
So we're just going to slow and steady, keep going, keep trudging, using this veil of shadow and silence. We're just going to keep going. We're going to
Okay.
focus. Oh, okay, you're there.
I'm still here.
He's still here.
Okay, great. You continue trudging along. So direction wise, are you concerned about direction, or are you just trying to get away from these things?
Trying to get away, but also follow the stream.
Okay.
Because the stream is going to teach us, is going to tell us where to go. Just the direction that the stream is going
The river
is going to lead. The river, yes, is going to take us to the coast. And I know from the coast, I know where to get back.
It is going to slow you down pretty significantly to try and keep an eye on the direction of the water for the river.
But we can just hear it, right?
Not really, right? Like it's not like a rushing waterfall or anything. It's a body of water moving in the night, right? So you might be able to re-find it, right? But if you're going to take your time to orient yourself to it, your travel time through the swamp is going to be reduced.
Well, knowing that I have about an hour of this, we might just head on into the woods to get away from these bugs because they're really annoying.
Okay, you're gonna try and
Change
skip
of
out.
plans. Change of plans, Declan.
Roll me a survival check, please. Let's see how well you do at getting out of the swamp.
Oh, you know it ain't going to be that good.
Skill.
It's not. It's not. This one is not. 14.
Okay. All right. You're navigating the swamp place to place. You have a moment where Declan falls in and you catch him, but he loses your staff. What sort of gear did you bring with you into the night?
All of it.
You brought all your gear? So what did you have on you?
I don't
So you
have
pack.
much. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So he
Okay.
loses my staff and I have his.
That's true.
That's a good thing. I'm not going to mention anything about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have my pack. It's firmly attached to me. I have my robe, my mask, the glasses.
Okay. The question is, how firmly? Will you keep the pack, or will you be certain not to drown? And we'll find out when we come back to you later. Kit, surrounded by these creatures, you and Calamity, you find yourself surrounded by these creatures. You've got them on all sides. Calamity and you are back to back with this thing to one side, but yet a ghoul's crawled over it, or one of these creatures. They could be anything. Who knows what they are? Has crawled over it and is hanging down, starting to swipe at you. What do you want to do?
So it's my turn. I can attack again with my little dagger. I will do that. And you said there's one like kind of coming from above me, like taking a swipe. I am gonna just kind of look up and try to get him with the dagger, like up through here. This motion. That is a 22 to hit.
That hits easily.
And do I get my sneak attack damage because my ally
you do on everyone
is...
but the one to your left. The one to your left,
Okay.
You won't get sneak attack damage because Calamity won't be there. But this one and the other one you will, or three of them you will.
Okay. That's good. That's a little... Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, this is so much math. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17 points of damage.
17 points of damage. So your dagger goes in. So you reach up. And as it's swiping down, its mouth is open wide. You slide right into its mouth. Your dagger piercing through that soft, rotten palate, like genuinely rotten, like that that drool going down over your hand as it goes through, but it pierces through the thing's brain, and it seems to fall limp down beside you. Its teeth scratching against your arm as it falls. You barely keep your hold on your dagger,
Oh,
but it falls limp, even more dead, extra dead,
super dead.
super
Cool.
dead, super dead. Um,
Yes. So am I like, is there one like right next to me? Like, am I engaged with any of them? I
you are
guess?
engaged with three of them.
Can I bonus action disengage? Is that how that works?
Can you bonus action disengage? Yes, you may. Absolutely.
Okay. I don't know if that helps me, but I think I would like to do it if I can.
Do you want to move also?
No. Do I have to move to do it?
You don't have to move to do it, but if you disengage, like disengaging is something you would do so you could move, right?
Okay. I would move, but I don't want to leave Calamity. So, is it possible for me to disengage and then just kind of like move around so that I'm not totally surrounded, but I haven't left Calamity? Like maybe go to the other side of Calamity or something. I can't exactly
Not
picture
really,
where the
not really from
remaining
where.
ones
So
are.
from where you're at, you've got the log to your back, this big fallen
Okay.
over log, where that creature was crawling up over at you. You just killed it. To your left, if the thing's to your back, right? So either Calamity's to your back or the log is to your back, right?
Right. Okay.
With the log to your back, you've now got someone on your left, two in front of you, Calamity to your right, and this small, tiny, magical wisp thing to Calamity's right. Right, so y'all are kind of penned in here, right? Until you do some damage, you're going to be stuck there. Although you could potentially roll under the log and go back out the way you came, right? And you wouldn't be surrounded that way. But it looks like a tight fit, especially for you. It'd be easier for Calamity than for you.
Then I'll just stay where I am. And I was just trying to use a bonus action to do something since I had him. But if there's nothing for me to do, I'm not gonna leave Calamity. So I'm just gonna stay here and get ready to defend myself against these disgusting creatures.
These awful dogs.
If dogs can be
Okay.
awful.
Okay, so Calamity turns then, her hands wide, and they fan out. As she does so, her hands fan out, and a spray of brilliant hot fire goes shooting out, right? As she just goes, and almost from her mouth, she goes, and this jet of flame envelops two of the creatures. Two creatures. Give me just one sec. Okay. Okay. They each get burned, but they seem like they're still doing. They seem like they're still doing fairly well. Seem like they're doing fairly well. The light, right? That little light source. It darts back. It darts back and begins hovering in the air over the scene, stepping out from the conflict. But the creatures around you begin attacking. So two of them are going to attack you. So give me just one sec. So one of them attacks you. It's that weird lolling tongue. It lashes out at you, and you can see that there's little barbs on, almost made of small bits of rotten bone. It tries to swing that tongue across your face as it also claws at you. You're able to duck both of them. But then another attacks. What was your AC again?
15. Yeah, 15.
15. This time the tongue hits. It pulls across your chest here, cutting you, and you take 6 slashing damage.
I will use. Yeah, why not? No reason not to. I'll use uncanny dodge just to take half of that off.
Yeah.
Okay. The other attacks at Calamity. But she's able to avoid the worst of it. With that, let's hop over to Zagrin. Zagrin, you're up in the tree, resting. People are getting now close to the wood line, and you can hear the dogs beginning to bark and move, but it doesn't look like they've got a particular scent. Now that you see it, there are at least 4 figures on horseback out here. 4 figures on horseback. 2 of them look fairly heavily armored. They're carrying shields, long spears, kind of traditional medium cavalry sort of folks, right? The horses have some armor on them. A number of them look like they're more dressed for the proper wilderness. Each with 2 dogs with them on leashes. Trying to get at the woods, and then there's a number of soldiers, at least 3 soldiers back in. They're beginning to look around the woodline, move up and down the woodline. So 2 of them, the group splits up. One goes in either direction from that path, and they begin moving out. So there's probably 4 folks and 2 dogs headed your way.
And I got an 18 on my stealth check that you asked me to roll.
Great.
So they don't seem to know where
they
I
begin,
am right
They
now,
begin moving. They're looking at the woodline, and the dogs are smelling. What they're smelling for, it's unclear, but you can see them with all the light that they're carrying. You're probably about 30 minutes into your short rest. You don't feel like Lyrimnor's blessing is back and accessible to you.
Yeah, I will keep just saying my prayers and looking down, and also kind of looking over my shoulder, like looking back just to try to see if I hear any sign of my companions, because I also don't know where any of them are. So looking, check the dogs, look behind me, try to catch my breath, and just trying to go through that routine until something changes, or I feel the Luxon shine her light upon me and give me my spells back.
She works in mysterious ways, so have faith, man.
A lesson in patience.
Okay, great. Soleus, you're moving along. More of those bugs have come up to you, but again, you've been quick. Your fast hands between you and Declan, you're crushing them out of the air.
And dunking them underwater. So they don't make a noise.
Nice. But it's still a nasty trip. You're now nearing the edge of the swamp. You see a pretty sharp rise up. That you can go to. That's fairly close. Otherwise, you're gonna have to search further in either direction for a gentler slope to get out of here.
How tall is that rise?
Hard to tell from where you're at. There's a lot of bushes as you get higher, but it looks at least 40 feet, maybe 50.
Okay.
It's a mixture of sand, rock, and root.
Declan, can you make it up there?
He looks at you and goes, I think so. I haven't forgotten how to climb.
All right.
It looks treacherous though.
Indeed. I'll throw you down a rope. And I make a few more movements toward it, and they go kind of disappear into the shadow and appear 50 feet up.
So you're gonna go as high as you can see, stepping through the shadow.
Shadow step. Yes, and when I get to the top, I'll throw down a rope to him.
Okay, So
Assuming I'm at stable ground up there.
yeah. So shadow stepping, what you do is you shadow step up to about midway up the cliff to a spot that you can see as like a good spot. So you're holding onto this tree. You step out of the shadow, hold on to the tree, you look up, and you see another spot slightly clearer, and shadow step again, right? Dip out, and now you're at close to the top. There is a very solid tree where you're at that you could easily secure a rope to.
I'm doing that.
Okay.
Secure a rope, toss down an end.
All right, you toss down one end to Declan. He's there at the bottom. He grabs the rope and he begins climbing up. And with the rope and with your help, he's able to do it. But you can tell that this cliffside was treacherous. A number of patches were soft dirt that crumble out from underneath him, and without the rope, he could easily have fallen. But he is eventually able to make it to the top. He gets there, breathing hard. Celeste, where'd you learn to do that?
The Luxon. She teaches me still to this day. We have no time for that now.
No. No.
One day you will learn it.
He looks up. He says, I can almost see dawn breaking. Looking out, you do see the first traces of false dawn from that edge, looking out over the swamp.
If we make it to the morning, it would be a miracle.
All right. We cut back to Kit, who we really do need a miracle to save. And in fact, again, I'm falling behind on the music. Let's make it spooky. Make it spooky, folks.
Make it spooky now.
All right. Let's go.
That's less spooky.
There we go. So, Kit, surrounded by enemies. Some of them have been burned by Calamity. As her hand shot out, the two that got burned, crisped up, like you could see their old and decaying flesh begin to burn, but they were fast and they avoided the worst of that burn. They were slashing and clawing, digging at the two of you, but unable to land many blows. You find yourself surrounded by three foes. Two slightly injured from the burn. The one that you saw with the twig through its foot, and a big missing piece out of its thigh. It's looking at you, and it's hungry. It's also the one that managed to cut you, and it hasn't been damaged at all.
Well, if he's looking at me, I'm gonna get him. I'm going to. Where is he? Is it right in front of me, or is he off to my left? To my left.
The one to your left, yeah. The two in front of you are the ones that Calamity burned.
Right. Okay. So, I am going to just go for like straight into like the chest area. I don't know if this guy has vital organs. I don't know what this guy is made of, but I'm going for it. That's not that great. That's a 13.
Okay. A 13 hits. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Ooh. Oh, sorry. This one, if you attack it, you won't get sneak attack either. Sorry.
Right. Okay. Well, he was looking at me. That is, what is that? D4 plus 5. That's 8 points of damage.
Okay. All right. Your dagger sinks in. Cutting it. But it moves. It moves as your dagger sinks in, pulling back and avoiding the worst of your stab, and it begins to slash, and it begins to slash out at you. But first, Calamity again. This time again, just pulls her hand out, and another wave of flame goes out. And again, those little bastards duck out of the way. And that is. So the two in front, both are looking burned, but neither is down. but neither is down. Calamity pulls her hand across like that, and then reaches out another one, and point blank attempts to shoot a bolt of fire into the one in front of her, the one that attacked her. But misses. The thing is able to duck out of the way, and another one goes burning off. Now the waves of fire that she shot out have caught a lot of the brush around you on fire. It's somewhat damp, but some of the bushes are beginning to burn, and there's some crackle and pop from the roasting.
She's burning everything but the monsters.
Yeah. Speaking of which, that first one attempts to tongue and claw you.
Ew.
Reaching out again, the tongue slashes across your face for another 6 slashing damage. You can feel as it cuts you. You can feel a lethargy sink into you, and you are slowed. You will not be able to move as fast this round as you could the round before.
No. Can I uncanny dodge that to have that again?
You can.
Okay.
You get 1 reaction every turn. The other burned one, it claws and slashes at you. Again, a tongue this time cutting across your side. So as it ducked under the blow, it brought that long barbed tongue across, and it cuts along your thigh. That's another 6 points of damage. And once again, your movement now has been reduced by 20 feet for this turn. Or until the end of your next turn.
Oh,
And the third
okay.
one attacks Calamity. This one, cutting her. This cut across that hand that she had pulled out. It cuts a long tear across her forearm.
Thanks a lot, Calamity.
It cuts another long tear across her forearm. And with that, we go back over to Selaeus. So Selaeus, you and Declan are now at the top of this cliff. You've been looking around. You can see now the river from where you're at. So it goes along the way you like the swamp. It kind of continues going around the swamp. It curves off to the left and then curves right, and you lose it behind some trees. But if you generally follow, the direction that parallels the swamp a little bit for a while, you'll cut towards where it curves back.
Whoa, okay.
Calm down.
we had to see that.
Yeah, it's a good thing I wore pants today.
Yeah, it's just like. Can we? Do we need to rest here? Can we? Are these bugs around, or is there any immediate danger? We're at like a little clearing, right, or like a flat area that we can.
You are at a little clearing. Yes, you are at a little clearing. So you're not like you're on a cliffside, right? It's small, or a cliff top, but you're seemingly safe for now.
All right. Do you need to catch your breath, Declan?
He goes, I'm okay. I'm okay. Where do you want to go?
We'll catch up with the river later on. Let's keep moving in this direction. Stay quiet. Stay low.
Okay. Roll me a survival check.
Survival. Oh, that's a 9 plus 4. 13.
13. Okay. You're going kind of in the direction that you think is right, but it's hard. It's hard to follow it. It's hard to follow it as you go through this direction. As you go through the deep woods, you start looking around, and you begin to see
you begin to see some of the wood becomes gnarled and strange. Some of the wood begins to get gnarled and strange. But you see as that transitions, and you can kind of keep moving away from it. You go to where you think the river ought to be, and you can see now that the land, you're on kind of a high plateau. The land is sloped down, and you see the river move. You see swamp kind of pull away deeper into the forest because you're at this higher vantage. You can see down there in kind of the higher area, but not far from the swampy terrain. You see this large bonfire out there in the woods, kind of in the space where there is that gnarled wood. But you also see a path towards a clearing beyond it, and you think you might find a way out of the forest, but it is not towards that area where you see the bonfire or the gnarled wood.
Okay, the bonfire is it more on our level, or is it down toward...
It's down. It's down, and it goes past away from the river.
I don't want to go. I want to follow the river, but I also want to check out this bonfire. We're going to... if we lose the river, we lose our way. So we're going to go toward the river. We're gonna stay. I mean, you said it veers away and then turns around, right?
So it veers now. You've kind of come over. It's turned around a bit of land, and it's beginning to head what looks like out of the forest, right? It's beginning to head like what looks like out of the forest.
Okay.
You can see kind of more to your right, pretty steeply towards your right, as the land slopes down. That gnarled wood and that bonfire area. So it would be out of your way to go towards the bonfire, but it wouldn't necessarily be the wrong direction either, right?
Okay.
It might take you a few hundred meters off the path you've chosen, and it is certainly proved easy to get lost in these woods.
Right, but the bonfire is casting a bit of light. Let's swoop a little bit closer to the bonfire while still staying in between the river bend and the bonfire.
Okay, you begin moving that way. You and Declan stalking the shadows. Kit,
Passing without trace.
We return to you, and this music's no longer any good. We go back to the other one.
Kit music.
All right, so Kit, in the thick of it, surrounded by these things, Calamity's starting to look pretty rough. Calamity's starting to look pretty rough with the cuts and the shocks. That wisp thing is floating around in circles. That laughter that you're hearing, which was that light tinkling of a child's laughter, now seems more insane, deeper, and malicious.
That's terrifying.
That's not how kids laugh. I don't notice a difference.
Oh, so that's coming from the
little figure that's that little light that's floating above you now, a good ways over your all's heads. It seems to cackle gleefully every time a blow lands.
This little asshole. How far away is he?
Probably 20 feet up, maybe 10.
So I'm not gonna get any kind of like sneak attack damage on him.
That one that you hit seems like it's still in very good shape. The other two look pretty badly burned, however.
Oh, we are like we're pretty surrounded, aren't we? I'm gonna go after the one. I mean, I think it makes more sense tactically to go after the someone that's looking like pretty rough. So, gosh, can I attack one of the ones in front of me that looks pretty burned? That is a 24 to hit.
That hits.
And I get the sneak attack damage on this guy, right?
You do. Do you want to attack the one that's been attacking Calamity or the one that's been attacking you?
Since Calamity's looking rough, I want to go after the one that's been attacking her. And that's 15 points of damage.
Nice. Yeah, it goes down. So you want to describe
Okay.
the way you take this thing out?
Is it like, am I melee or would I have to throw my dagger?
Melee. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's going after her, so I am just gonna these things, they're like you said, just like desiccated looking and like
Somewhat. Yeah.
dried
Although
out.
there's still plenty of moisture on them, right? Like they're in fact somewhat wet. They look like they
Gross.
once had scraps of clothing on them, but the scraps have rotten so bad that it's now like cloth and flesh kind of meld together where that was, right?
Lovely. I just want to like behead this thing. I just want to like go. I'm like going for like a throat cut, but it's like gonna take the whole thing off.
Yeah, your dagger slashes across and just takes its head across the neck, like separates all the flesh across the neck, and the head just falls back, still attached a little bit, just dangling there as the whole thing collapses backwards.
Yeah, kid.
And I'm just gonna look over at Calamity and say, "Can you get behind me?"
So Calamity rolls back along the way, the other one slashing out at her and actually clawing her. Slashing out at her and clawing her. But she gets some space, and as she does so, she shoots a firebolt over at the one that clawed her. Shoots a firebolt over at the one that clawed her, and you see it. You see the firebolt consume it as it crisps up and falls down. You're now facing that last one, and Calamity is there behind you.
Nice, good job.
Yeah. With that, we turn to Zagran. Zagran, as you've been waiting there, you're now also seeing that false dawn beginning to arise. With it, you can see a number of figures. It does look like it's around 24 soldiers out there in the fields looking. There are soldiers walking with dogs. There are people on horseback, right? There's a couple people on hills just looking for anyone that might be moving across the ground there. That group of soldiers watching the woodline comes over and gets very close to where you are. You hear one of the dogs begin to bark and signal as if they're smelling something. They go over to your tree. The soldiers look up, looking into the tree, trying to see through the foliage. A light shines, and it passes over you, and then goes back. And they go, "Hey, someone's up there!"
Oh no.
It's about 30 minutes in. What do you want to do?
Oh, thank God you found me. Help. Please help.
Okay. So sorry. You shout out. You shout out that down at
Yes. Help, please help. Thank God you found me.
Okay. There's the 4 soldiers there. There's the 4 soldiers there at this moment. So they look up at you. There's light. Do you step into the light?
No.
Okay. Okay. Do you do anything else?
Do my best sob, I guess.
Okay. roll me a roll me a deception check, please.
All right.
What were you disguised as?
I'm in my
Oh.
mask right now. That's it. Because I had to drop all my spells and stuff. So
Some porcelain mask in a tree.
I'm
Oh,
just
thank God
crying.
you saved me. Woo, woo, woo.
Okay.
26.
26. Okay. So you hear someone a little confused from down below. Come out into the light where we can see you. What's happened? Who are you?
I'm so lost. It's been so long since I've seen people.
Come.
And
Oh,
I'll,
sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, and I'll just start like go into the light.
Okay.
Just
Are
kind
you
of,
gonna
like,
use your
look
disguise
down.
self to change it anyway, or you're gonna look like you?
No, if I have a moment, well, it depends. Disguise self has it
I
does
think
have
you
a
can cast
verbal
it
component,
as will with your thing, or at will. with
but
your
it's a
thing.
verbal component. I don't want them to know I can cast
Ah.
magic. Like if they see me cast a spell, that gets way more suspicious that I got lost and
Got it. Got it.
have magic powers. So no, I'll just at least for right now, step into the light with my creepy mask and robe, hood up.
Okay, so they look up at you, go, come down from there. And now the guy who's on the horse has rode back a little bit, and he's got his spear pointed up. And the soldiers on the ground. So the one guy on the ground is holding the dog. The other two soldiers, they have spears and shields, and they're now spreading out around the tree. Come down from there.
Do you have a ladder? I'm not sure that I can. I'm rather high up. Do you have anything to help?
Come down before we make you come down.
If I jump, are you gonna catch me? How am I supposed to get down?
Well, same way you got up there, I guess.
Oh, all right. And I will, doing my best, like almost slipping a couple times, make myself look as pathetic as possible as I try to climb my way back down. Just really looking like helpless tourist is what the character that Zagrin is playing right now. So just seeming very inept at the woods, like he is not a good climber. I mean, he's not a great climber, but he's okay at it, but he's making himself look very bad at it to the best of his ability.
All right, roll me another deception.
All right. 27.
Okay. Yeah, they're like, you can tell they're deeply suspicious, but they're really also very confused. And so you've got them concerned. You probably have about 15 minutes where you can feel the power beginning to well out, but it's still just out of reach.
Does climbing stop that rest? I don't know if that's too okay. Yeah, 'cause
No,
it's
it does not.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm just making my way down and slowly, like because I'm bad at it, like just oh no, hold on, I'm coming. You see me? Just 1, 2, and like I like go down again. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. And just stalling in the tree for as long as I can reasonably do. This would be much faster if you fetched me a ladder.
Okay, great.
If I can stall on this tree for another 15 minutes, I'm absolutely gonna do that.
Yeah, you're gonna get 5 more minutes tops. You're gonna get 5 more
All right,
minutes
I'll
tops.
take what I can get.
Yeah, let's go over to Selaeus. So Selaeus, you begin moving out into that gnarled wood. Again, it is strange. There's a little bit of light beginning to come in, and you can see like the trees look just deformed. Like in places, you almost looks like there are little frozen, hunched figures in the woods itself. Like it's
What is this place?
it is awful looking. It is awful looking, but you do see this big bonfire as you get a little bit closer. As you get a little bit closer, it looks like there's like a camp, like a very rough camp. Like there are some hide tents set up. There's a big bonfire. There are figures moving around. Roll me a perception check. Oh wait, do you have a spyglass?
20.
20. You're looking and you're trying to see in there and you don't quite see it. Then you look at some of the trees around that camp and you can see some of those gnolls. Some of those gnolls out there in the trees looking like they're hiding in places, and they have bows and arrows. If you were to have come much closer to the camp, you would have been in the sight of some of these sentries.
Yeah, we're giving a large berth around that, and we're gonna.
That bonfire represents a gnoll camp and deep in the woods.
Okay, yeah, forget that. Yeah, no, more no's. They aren't to be trusted, Declan.
Yeah, Declan spits because vile demon spawned, hell spawned creatures.
Filthy. Yeah, we're gonna keep pushing on. We're gonna keep
All
going.
right, you're gonna move towards the edge of the wood.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah, we're gonna keep going.
Kit. The cackling of the wisp continues. The cackling of the wisp continues. You are facing this last creature. You're facing this last creature. You and Calamity working together, you can draw it back to a place where you can get a sneak attack on it. However, if you do so, or if you fail to do so, it's going to get, or if you fail to kill it, it's going to get attacks on you and Calamity.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go for it.
You won't fail to kill it.
We'll see. That's a 21 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And all these dice. That's pretty good. Pretty good. 21 damage.
Yeah.
21 damage.
Please die.
Yeah. It's badly hit, but it makes an attack on you and Calamity. The tongue goes for you, the claw goes for Calamity.
Doesn't Calamity get a strike too? Doesn't she get
She
an
will,
attack?
but as they were kind of coordinating that thing, it got to go before Calamity's going to get to go.
No.
And it claws at her, and it lashes out at you with its tongue, but it misses. And then it comes in and it claws at Calamity, and it tears her, and you can see a spray of blood fly out as she falls down. Bleeding badly. It's your go now. You're one-on-one with this thing.
Oh, I'm angry. I don't have sneak attack still, do I?
Unless you burn your inspiration for an attack, you won't.
Oh.
Or do something
I
else
will-
cool to get you advantage.
I'm going. So, is she close to that spot? Basically, like where she could go underneath the log.
So she moved out in order to help you flank the thing.
But she's like, if I wanted to, I could push her back underneath the log.
Maybe. It'd be hard, and you'd lose your action. You wouldn't be able to attack.
Okay, then I won't. I'll just make sure that I'm in between her and the creature, and I'll use my inspiration. And it's looking kind of rough, or
It
is it
looking
like
very rough.
where does it? Where does it look the most injured?
Yeah, it looks like it's been cut. It looks like it's been cut in the chest. You gave it a bad wound across the gut, and it's leaned forward. It's leaned forward. It's tongue out and right at you. So no particular spot, right? Give it a good. You could probably give it a good stick through the eye if you wanted.
This thing has like tongued me too much. I am going right for that. Its tongue is hanging out. I'm just going right in there for that. Ooh, I don't know. Does that hit? That's a 13 to hit.
It does.
Oh, okay. That's
Nice.
good. Okay. That's 9 points of damage.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did I get sneak attack or no? I did get sneak attack, so it's not 9 points. It is 9 plus
That sounds like much
it's
more.
15 points of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Your knife comes through. You stick right through its tongue. You pin it to its chest, and it sinks deep in, and the creature falls down and stops moving. You go down. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Is that thing still flying in the air?
It is, but as the thing goes down, it swirls up and pulls back a little further.
Okay,
The
I'll
light
just like
you see now, the light of false dawn begin to come in, and that creature seems to begin floating away back towards that circle.
I'll just look once up at where the creature is flying away, and then I'll look back down at Calamity and Calamity, can you hear me? Is she awake or is she unconscious?
She's unconscious.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do. Can I just try to? I mean, I don't have any real medical skills. I know what I've
Do you have any healing
learned
potions?
on the streets, but I don't think so.
I think y'all distributed a bunch between you when you got that set of healing potions, or maybe that was.
Oh, I do. I do have one healing.
Oh, okay.
I do
great.
have one in my just one. Yeah,
Okay.
just one. It's a regular one.
You could do some Reiki, some like therapeutic touch.
Yeah, right. So I will just fumble in my jacket and pull out this healing potion, and then and try to pour it in her mouth, and just hope that this works.
Yeah, you pour it in. You hear her cough and come back to life. Some of the wounds on her neck close, and she begins breathing again. She looks up. She grabs you. She grabs you. And she goes, "Oh, kid, thank you.
You scared me.
I thought I was dead for sure."
You kind of were. You were surrounded. I think they're gone. That weird little laughing light creature. It floated away. But we probably shouldn't stick around.
You stand
Can
up
you
and look
walk?
around. You're surrounded by these things, and you look at that circle, that circle of stones. You see something in the center of it that catches your eye, like the glint of like a silvery metal inside there.
How far away is it from me?
Probably 40 feet.
I'll look back at Calamity. Can you walk? Can you stand up?
I can. Got your back.
I don't have any more potions. I'm sorry. Hopefully we don't encounter any more of those creatures. But I think we're still lost. If you... Just gonna look back over at the shiny thing. Can you wait here for a second? I'm just
can.
gonna go look at something.
I'll send Yantha to see what she can see. Oh, there's a little more light.
Can she go look at this? And I'll point over at the... That's
Oh,
something shiny.
sure.
What's a
Yeah.
shiny thing?
So Yantha flies out and lands on one of the rocks, and Calamity goes. You see her close her eyes, and open them, and they've rolled up straight white. And she goes, "There's like an old body in the center of that ring, and there's a sword kind of stuck in the ground, and it looks perfect. It looks like it hasn't been touched at all. That looks valuable."
I'm King Arthur. I'm gonna go get the sword out of the stone.
Out of the body.
Can Yantha go a little closer? Can she actually, investigate this? I'm afraid to go.
She closes
What
her
if
eyes
it's
and
a-
opens them again and looks at you. She goes, "Well, we can go walk over." She doesn't see anything.
What if it's a trap, though?
I think that was it.
Okay. I just don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah, me
Maybe you
neither.
should stay. Maybe you should stay here, and I'll
Okay.
go.
Well, let me just be close enough to catch her back.
Okay, just hang back a
I'll
bit.
stay out of the circle.
All right. And then I'll walk over.
Yeah. You walk into the circle. There's a skeletal form laying on the ground. Right by where it's splayed out, there is this really shiny sword. You look at it now, it's like a bright silver with inscribed writing going down either side of the blade. The writing looks elvish to you. Do you speak Elvish?
I don't read anything,
Oh, okay. Well, it looks like what you've seen Elvish writing look like, but
but I do
it's
speak
unclear to you.
Elvish, yeah.
Yeah, unclear to you what it may say, and the handle, so the hilt, looks like it's inlaid with gold. It looks really nice. On top of that, the figure looks skeletal, and some of the bones are actually scattered around as if. And now that you're looking at it, some of the bones have been gnawed on. But there's a pair of fine boots on its feet that look like they haven't been touched either.
I will go check out the sword and see if I can grab it. And
Yeah, you pull it. It's stuck in the earth, but it's not that stuck. You're able to pull it out.
okay, I'll grab that and I will just check out the rest of the body.
Yeah. Rest of the body looks like the clothing looks rotten and aged. The bones have been gnawed on, but those boots are still there, just kind of laying about, and those don't look to have rotted at all. They look like they're made out of some very fine and soft leather. And yeah, as you look a little closer, there's an inscription, the same sort of writing, running along the inside of the boots, which are soft. It doesn't smell great. They don't smell great, but they look like they're in great condition, in spite of having been out there in the wild for who knows how long.
I'll just kind of hold my foot up to the boot, look at it.
It's not way off.
I will look up at Calamity, make eye contact, and then give her a little eyebrow and then grab the try to grab the boots and then skedaddle.
Yeah. As you begin leaving with the dawn, Yantha is able to see the ground actually slopes away, and there's kind of a river that's running out, and it looks like you can see a way out of the forest. Looks like you can see a way out of the forest. That being said, you do see that this, and Yantha is able to tell you the same thing, that bonfire spot, that looks to be a camp, a knoll camp. So you're
Gonna
not far
give
away from
that
a large pack of gnolls.
Gonna give that a super wide berth, like just try to stay very clear of that and also be as quiet as possible. And yeah.
You, Yantha, and Calamity begin moving. Since you're further from the river, so that camp is between you and the river, you're going to have to go deeper into the woods to get out, but you're confident that with the daylight and with Yantha's help, you're going to be able to get out of the woods. You begin moving, and we're going to cut away from you, and we're going to go back to Zagran. So Zagran, now, down at the bottom, they're tired of the excuses. They're getting pissed off, and one of them's pulled out a crossbow. And it's like, if you don't fucking get down here right now, we're gonna make you get down. You can feel that welling of power is close. You reach out to try and tap it, but it is not there yet.
So as I get start to put a little bit more hustle into my climbing down, and then as I get like maybe like 5 feet away from the ground, I'm gonna like lose my bearings and just kind of fall the rest of the way and just I told you, oh my arm, and just try to soccer player milk the excuse of being injured, and kind of like rolling around on the ground.
One of the soldiers comes over and boots you in the side, and then reaches down, grabs you, and pulls you up and stands you up. He reaches out, he grabs your mask, and he pulls it off. And they look at you and they go, "What the fuck are you?"
I'm a bug collector.
The guy on horseback goes, "Bring him in. We'll find out soon enough."
Where are you bringing me? What?
Yeah.
What is the meaning? What is?
Their hands where we could see him, and they start leading you across the field over towards town.
I go willingly.
Yeah. As they're walking you across, you can see now Sean beginning to break. There's a bunch of soldiers out there, and you can see that they're marching you towards town. You have a moment before you get close to the others with the 4 around you, where you can access that power within you.
Thank God. I'm going to thunderstep 90 feet away from them. Preferably back to the woods, actually.
So you're definitely further than 90 feet from the wood line.
Towards that direction, anyway.
All right, roll me initiative as you try and cast the spell. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Oh, 10.
10. You begin to cast the spell. But the guards begin to react first. The guards begin to react first, and we'll figure out what happens next time on Best Left Buried. Yeah.
Nice.
No!
Oh no!
Oh my God, Zagran.
This is great.
Yeah. Okay, great. Great, folks. And with that, we'll see you next week. 1 to 4 Central Time here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Join us on Discord. Chat with us. Let's hear about how you like this episode. You can complain about my randomness as far as the music goes, whatever you like. Love to hear from you. On Wednesdays, we do prep sessions. We should do one next Wednesday. We can talk about that template. We can talk about other things as far as scene creation. We can figure out what are we going to do to Zagran, and how are we going to bring the gang back together. And with that, we'll see you all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.